Glenside Park here in Werribee, otherwise known as the Avalon Airport Oval. My name's Wes Cusworth from Win Television News, and I'm joined by Andrew Leonard from the Victorian Amateur Football Association. Welcome to you, Andrew. We join our listeners, or they join us, on afl.vic.com.au as we approach the national anthem. What a fitting way to start.
And the sunshine is bathing the Avalon Airport Oval here in beautiful sunshine after we had torrential downpours just before it, just in time for the start of this match. It is the traditional city versus country match, not played since 1986, I believe, Wes.
Yes, that's right. It's been quite some time, and of course the respective sides have had their various challenges across the course of the last decade or so, but this, the last couple of decades, this is going to be a momentous occasion, no doubt. We might actually pick up the audio coming to us live from the ground here at Avalon Airport Oval. As we can see the umpires moving down the lines, shaking hands with the players from the respective sides. Looking through the umpires list, we have in the field umpire positions, we have Matthew Pongracic from the Southern umpires, Dylan Burns from the Ballarat umpires, Calvin French from the Essendon District Football League. Boundaries, we have four of them: Stuart Huddle, James Brown, Mitchell Jones, Josh McMorrow. They're from the Southern Bendigo, Victorian Amateurs and Western Region Leagues, respectively. And in the goal umpiring positions, we have Southern umpires James Richardson and Essendon District's Cameron Millick as the umpires continue to move down the line. And the sun is just starting to strengthen in its cause to cover the Avalon Airport Oval, which is a very, very pleasing sight indeed. We've had some early rain. It's only just registering at 7 degrees. And now the Australian National Anthem.
Australians, all let us rejoice, for we are young and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains, then let us sing, advance Australia
And there we have the sides getting in place as the captains move forward, and of course the respective captains for the two sides. Andrew?
Tim Luby will skip the Victorian countryside from Goulburn Valley and the Shepparton United League, and for the AFL Victoria Metro squad, Natal Caruso from Northern Saints Football Club in the Essendon District Football League will skipper the Vic Metro side. Looks like the country have won the toss, and they'll kick to the Melbourne City end of the City of Melbourne end of the ground, or the northern end of the ground here at the Avalon Airport Oval. So the two sides today, a combination of players from right across Victoria, particularly the countryside, just drawn from all corners of the state. The Metro squad, of course, taken out of the AFL Victoria Metro Championships earlier this year. So just 6 competitions, 6 leagues making up the Metro side. And there's a number there, I'm sure you've counted through them, Wes, and aware how many different leagues and competitions there are in that countryside.
Well, in fact, it's the top 10 country Victorian sides that actually form this particular team. And of course, you've already been down to Geelong to see some other country and metro action. Tell us about what was transpiring down there at St Albert's Recreation Reserve in Geelong.
Well, that's where the curtain raises to what this game was supposed to be played at Simonds Stadium. Of course, for those that would have seen the early publicity for this match, you would have been expecting this to be a 4 o'clock start at Simonds Stadium in Geelong. Unfortunately, given the heavy traffic that's been through there with the under-16 championships during the week, this has now been moved to Werribee, where we are today. However, those games, those curtain raisers, so to speak, are still representative football, with some of the finest under-19 players in the state going head-to-head from the VAFA, their under-19s combined side taking on the combined under-19s of AFL Victoria Country. That match has concluded, and the country side had a comfortable win in the end in that match. There's another match taking place at exactly the same time that's going to start now, which is the country number 2 team which is from the next tier of country teams, I'm led to believe.
That's right.
Against the VAFA's Premier B to Division 4 side. So effectively, the VAFA's secondary tier of senior team as well. So that match will take place at the same time. We'll try and get your scores throughout this broadcast today, but this is our match of the day, and looking forward to calling the action between these two sides. Some great talent on the field for both teams.
Yeah, it should be an absolute cracker, and I would imagine that given the strength for Vic Country in terms of their front 50 structure, if the conditions remain relatively dry and there's a rapid transition of ball inside front 50, that's going to be where the Vic Country team can set themselves apart. But at the same time, no doubt there's been some very solid defenders picked in this Metro side, and they'll have some skillful players right across the ground. Now, your special expertise, of course, is with the amateurs, and there's a handful of amateur players in this Metro lineup.
Yeah, there's 4 in total that made the final team. I guess the unfortunate part of this is that, well, the amateurs play representative football every year. Not so much the other Victorian or the other Melbourne Metropolitan leagues don't play as much rep footy. They played that pre-season Metro Championships, which was the first time a couple of those competitions have played representative football. The amateurs played a senior match against AFL Queensland only 3 weeks ago. So there's a few players that, rightly or wrongly, were unable to play this because they'd seen this as a bye weekend and had either booked holidays or booked in to have a rest this week. So the 4 players in, though, who have put their hand up and are playing: Joel Rice from Old Carey, Tom Paul from Old Melburnians, Jack Bull from Old Scotch, and Will Tarter from Collegians. Are certainly no slouches, though, and they're certainly valued senior members of the VAFA's best 22.
Well, players now moving into position ahead of our big clash in the AFL Victoria Community Cup. It should be an absolute cracker. It's going to be Tom Waters from Gisborne, the 27-year-old, starting the ruck for Vic Country. And he's up against his opponent in Matthew Dennis from Bundoora. 2 27-year-olds going at it initially. As Andrew made mention earlier, it's going to be Vic Country with Tim Luby winning the toss and electing to kick to the Melbourne City end. As the Geelong City end, as the umpire holds the ball aloft, and here's the first of the action, thanks to Andrew Leonard.
And good comfortable knock there on the first occasion from Waters for the Country. The ball falls to ground and immediately a pack forms, and umpire pretty quick on the whistle. The rules I believe we're playing today are AFL rules, falling under those rules. Of course, some of the local leagues play variations of those rules, things like hands in the back we don't see certainly in the amateur competition. I believe I'm not sure if it's 25 metre penalties or 50 metre penalties today, but I imagine with the way it goes it'll probably be 50.
We'll wait and see what the umpires' decisions are when they arise.
Knocked out from Dennis on that occasion. Good tackle there by Jackson for the Metro side. And we'll have a third ball up in the space of the opening minute here. In the centre of the ground, plenty of players around the contest. Again, the knock came out from Dennis for the Metro side, rather. And again, a big pack forms over the top of this. Nothing really doing, no clean possessions early in the opening minute of this match.
We had covers on the ground up until moments before the ball was thrown up in the air for the first time, and now the big boys go at it again for the 4th time. The possession falls to Tim Sheringham, the vice-captain of the Vic Country lineup, and he's immediately wrapped up in the tackle, and eventually it's his teammate in Tom Waters from Gisborne to hand the ball back. We have not progressed any more than 10 metres. The big boys go at it once again. Could have been a free kick for too high there on that occasion. The Vic Country, yes, in fact, grabbed high, so Vic Country will go forward now with an opportunity through the agency of Joel Mackey, the Albury superstar. Almost has Jack Keary run into the path of his kick there. He looks for Sheldon, the Kyabram Premiership player of 2013, but he can't take the mark. There's Tim Luby going to ground a teammate. Quick handball out of the pack. Clash of bodies. Could have been a knock to the head. Umpire says play on. Quick kick forward comes from Vic Country at 50 now. Deepest progress for either side at this point in time. There's a tackle, and umpire says you're all over him in his back, and the free kick's going to go the way of Nick Carter from Northcote Park.
Releases Tardif by hand, who kicks wide to the wing position. Gathered here on this near side by, that's Geary. Got the hand pass over the top to Mackey, getting a bit of football early. Back to Philo. Hand passes along the boundary line. Coughed up though, and the Metro have turned it over. Tardif's hand pass was a bit optimistic. Ended up finding a teammate there out in Carter. And again, Geary goes in and wins the football. Hand pass backward there for Dennis. Couldn't quite trap it. Wrapped up strongly there was Van Noonan. Again, it's sloppy football at this stage, as though it's going to break here for Sheldon, who hacks a left foot kick forward, up towards half forward. Strong punch away on that occasion from Boyd for the Metro. And we'll have a throw in front of our broadcast position here at Avalon Airport Oval in Werribee. Both teams yet to score after 3 minutes of play.
Peter Knight's already ringing the changes for the Vic Countryside. Joel Mackey came off the ground after a fairly heavy knock. We'll just have to keep a watchful eye on him. That didn't look too good for him. Here's Brendan Hollow. He's wrapped up in the tackle. The umpire has no opportunity, or no option, but to say that he had no opportunity and will have a ball up between centre wing and half forward. The Vic Country struggling to progress, but so too the Metro, finding it really difficult contested football. Here's the looping handball over the top, running onto it. Steve Kennedy from Darley falls to the Vic Country. They can go forward now through the agency of Kevin Burke, the Geelong West St. Peter's star from the Geelong Footy League. Now the Country with an opportunity. The ball spills free. Here's Jenkins. Works it out to Caruso. One of two playing today. His little kick towards the wing and a sliding mark taken. And it's going to be that player there in Luke Barker, I suspect, wearing the number 15 Guernsey for the Metro lineup. Defensive side of centre wing. He's called to play on. Luby tries to close him down. Finds a teammate on centre wing, and then a short kick forward, and it comes to Ryan Jackson from Montmorency.
Plays on and spears a pass inside, but chopped off there across half back by the Country, and Geary receives the hand pass, gives it over the top there towards Morgan. His kick goes up towards half, or just getting in the back there. Might be a free kick, not paid. Willis is going to be first to the ball for the Country, though. Just goes to ground to trap the football. Hand pass inside was okay. Just Nichols just collected a little bit high, and he's going to get a free kick. And perhaps this is the first opportunity for a direct shot at goal. Almost 5 minutes in to the opening quarter here between AFL Victoria Metro and AFL Victoria Country. The first kick at goal, Daniel Nichols will take that from Geelong in the St Albans League. So down from where I was earlier today. We'll run through on the left boot, kick from just outside the 50, hung it out to the left, and it stayed that way. First score of the day, though, on the board. It is the Country. They're one behind 1 point. Metro yet to score. 5 minutes gone in the opening term.
Good news for Albury Footy Club supporters. Joel Mackey back on the field and untroubled by that little knock that he received in the opening couple of minutes. Here's Metro. Looping handball comes from the hand of Tardif. It's cut off. Metro coughing up possession now. Here's Country with an opportunity through the agency of Kane Taylor of Seaford. Ball spills free now, going long towards goal. The kick on goal. Goes the journey. And the Country have scored the first goal of our game. We'll just spot up the kicker of that goal.
Morgan.
Luke Morgan it was. So the 2013 Morrison medalist from the Benalla Saints Footy Club up there in the Goulburn Valley has kicked the first goal of our game, and it's Country 1-1-7, leading Metro yet to score.
Well, great goal and just a beautiful skill execution, and you get used to watching that every day and every week. Where Morgan plays his football at Goulburn Valley, they'd be enjoying that.
I'll tell you what, the Benalla fans, he's the coach of the side. They're pretty thrilled with what he's been able to develop up there.
So back in the middle again, another free kick's been plucked out, this time going the way of Metro. Tom Paul, the old Melburnians skipper from the VAFA, will send the Metro side inside, working to the front spot though. Good play by the Country. Comes out here to McCarg. Got a hand pass back there to Caruso, who spears a ball up towards full forward. First to recover, Mackey was there, although working and ripping the ball away from him was Hinkley, and he carried the ball over the boundary line out of bounds. Just right half forward for the Metro. They've only had the one entry inside. It was repelled pretty quickly. We've got a boundary throw in though at right half forward. Chance for them to attack again. Comes out to another chance here for the Country of Metro through Gilchrist. Kick inside on McCarg, just sat under it, could have got it. It's going to come back to Gilchrist on the left. Snaps towards goal, and they're on the board now too, the Metro. Through Rennie Gilchrist, the ball and skipper. And from the Eastern Footy League, great start from both teams, really. Once that opening passage of play where we saw about 5 ball-ups in the middle of the ground, the game's opened up and both teams have got a goal on the board. Country 1-1-7, Metro 1-6.
Well, it didn't take long to get the necessary answer. After Luke Morgan kicked the first goal of the game, we see Gilchrist kick the second. And both sides up and about now. Umpire throws the ball up between the big boys once again. Ball spills free. And it's a nice gather on that occasion from the Metro's Jesse Donaldson. Awkward bouncing football inside 50 now. Running onto it, Caruso sweeping handball over the top. Opportunity for Barker. Shot on goal, and he has just pulled it to the left. Scores are all tied up here at Avalon Airport Oval. It's 1-1-7 apiece. And the goal kickers Morgan and Gilchrist for the respective sides.
Parker would be disappointed with that, wouldn't he? Just streaming into goal.
Had the time and space, didn't he?
Absolutely did. Straight up the middle for the Country. Good kick and really good mark in the middle of the ground too. Strong mark on that occasion. Taken by Sims. Or Symes.
Symes,
yep. Who goes play on immediately, and Tardif almost hauls in a strong mark, although he's worked off the football well. Metro diving in hard there on that occasion. Donaldson over the football. He did a good effort. Strong tackle on that occasion from Sheringham from the Country. And the ball's locked up at right half forward for the Country. So, 8 minutes gone in this opening quarter. Again, plenty of numbers around the football. Could have been a free kick on that occasion for the Country. Umpire says, no, give it to me, we'll have a ball up as all the players get up. Slightly wet surface out there, but the skills have been pretty good so far, Wes.
Indeed. Let's hope they stay dry, because we want to see the players perform to the very best of their ability. Clearing kick from Metro, from centre half back to centre half forward, running onto it. Yeah, it's an opportunity there for Luby. He misses the footy though, and it comes out now. A real opportunity emerges for McHarg, and he finds a teammate further afield in Mullet. Just pushed it out square, and Mullet takes the mark, and he looks like he's quite deliberate as he goes back now with a 45-degree angle to contend with, and probably kicking from just inside the 50-metre mark, kicking to the southern end here at Avalon Airport Oval. Comes in, the kick on goal from Mullet. It's a nice kick off the boot. It is just to the far side through for a minus score, and Metro have the lead for the first time today. They move along to 1-2-8, leading Vic Country 1-1-7.
Another disappointing kick from the Metro side there. Mullet on that occasion. The gun from Vermont in the Eastern Footy League. As Country have worked it out here nicely towards Sheringham, who spears the ball back inside there for Philo. He kicks up towards half forward, forced to punch from behind is a good one there on that occasion from Campisano, apologies, and it goes over the boundary line and out of bounds. Just forward of centre for the Country, kicking towards the northern end of this ground here at Werribee, the Avalon Airport Oval. And they trail on the scoreboard just by a solitary behind so far. From the ruck contest, Jackson couldn't quite take it away on hands and knees. Caruso also in there, working hard. Eventually Rice gets a kick away and clears up towards half forward, forced to punch on that occasion. Geary for the Country, crashing through on that occasion. Jenkins got a hand pass out. Country do well on this occasion through Philo, and eventually it ends up out the back here for Sheringham to send the ball up towards half forward. But going across and taking a good mark for the City side, or Metro side, is Boyd.
Boyd with a very short option and finds his teammate in Matthew Dennis from Bundura. Oh, his kick a little too heavily weighted. Opens the door ajar now for the Country. Gathering is Hollow. His handball, no, in fact, he couldn't get it away. Eventually does. Kick partially smothered there, came from the boot of Spiteri. Running onto it now is Gilchrist. He can't gather as players throw themselves at the football. There's no lack of endeavour from either side. Here's Jenkins. There's a couple of players hurt midfield. Let's keep an eye on that. Having to retreat with the handball is Metro. Couple of options emerge, and now we see Mullet, who recently had a kick on goal. He works it out wide to a teammate who takes the mark at left half-back flank. It's Metro 1-2-8 leading Country 1-1-7 here at Churnside Park in Werribee, and we do continue to see some players being treated by the respective team's trainers as the contest emerges on the outer side of the ground, and the ball eventually over the boundary line. The umpire says we'll throw it in with 11 and a half minutes travelled in this first quarter of our AFL Community Cup clash.
So it looks like Rennie Gilchrist is the Metro player that's being assisted off, and it was Tim Luby, the skipper of the Country side, that was also involved in that clash, as Gilchrist looks the more ginger of the two as he's being assisted from the field. Luby does also make the interchange, and it's the first time we'll see Jonathan Coe on the ground today for the Country. In the meantime, plays on the outer side of the ground, centre wing. Good hand pass out the back there from Jordan, that was Rhett Jordan, although it's chopped off again by the Country, and they come forward through Stewart, who kicks up towards half forward. Punch from behind was good on that occasion from Tennant from the City, or the Metro side. Tennant goes in, gets the hand pass out, loops a hand pass over the top there for Dennis. Dennis got a hand pass out. The kick came back in towards Natal Caruso, couldn't quite complete the mark. Country with numbers in the middle of the ground will pick up the ball now through Hampton. He just shoveled the ball out sideways in the direction of Hollow, who's Burrows in front of him. He gets it back now, Hollow. He's got numbers in the middle of the ground. Hand pass goes backwards to try and create some space, and the kick goes up to half forward. It was a kick without looking, although it might work out here for the Country. Hand pass spills out nicely for Hampton, just fumbled at the critical moment, still got it Hampton. Hand pass goes backwards towards Erskine. Erskine just dropped the ball, fumbled, good pressure from Metro. They might get out of this if they're lucky, although Nichols is doing his best in there, so is Bull for the Metro side. Comes out the back here, might have been legged on that occasion, Hampton, no. Comes out sideways here for Wallace. Wallace gets it away there towards Taylor. Taylor has a shot at goal, it's offline for a minor score. So all square again, 1-2-8 apiece after 13 minutes in the opening quarter of this Metro versus Country match.
Great defensive pressure by Metro there on that occasion. They were under siege for a sustained period of time, and now we see a long kick comes to the commentary side of the ground. Front and square is Caruso. Kicks along the line. Oh, good fist away there on that occasion. Defensive work provided by Tom Gillies, the former Geelong and Melbourne player in the AFL. And now the ball hotly contested. Caruso's ridden into the turf. The umpire says no play on. Trying to burst through the pack there was Daniel Willis, the Shepparton player who kicked 6 for the Goulburn Valley in their big win against Ballarat in May. And eventually the umpire calls for a ball up. 13 and a half minutes gone in our first quarter. It's Country 1-2-8, Metro 1-2-8 here at Chirnside Park in Werribee. Big fellas go at it once again. Palmed down by Waters. Quick takeaway. Joel Mackey pumps his side into attack. Ball off the top. Now an opportunity for Justin Madden. Offloads. Finds a teammate in Jordan Erskine. Tries to square it up. Lonnie Hampton, the excitement machine from Albury, burst through the pack, but he went without the footy on that occasion, and it opens the door for Metro. And as a result of that, we can see Jenkins with a handball and offloads to a teammate, and they look like they've got a chance to bring it away.
Paul forced to go backwards, and they're still working it. Jenkins is going to get it back, though. And the Metro gradually, with time and space, work it out to the outer side of the ground. Mark taken there by Patrick Flynn. Flynn from Lower Plenty in the Northern Football League. Spears a pass down the line, and good lead and mark there. Taken by Van Noonan from Vermont. He wheels around and kicks up towards half forward. Punch, chance over the back here for Bull, who runs onto it. Little left foot ball's okay in the direction of McCarg. Beautiful pickup from McCarg. Wedged against the boundary. He's got Caruso running into goal, and he takes the mark 25 metres out on a slight angle.
Wow, that's classy stuff.
Fortunato Caruso can go back and have a set shot, and really from this range he should just pop this right through the middle. From Northern Saints in the Essendon District Football League, he received the ball beautifully from McCarg in Deer Park from the Western Region Football League. And this to get the Metro a goal advantage as we approach the later stages of this opening quarter. Caruso pops it right through the middle. No questions about that one. And Metro take the lead by a goal. 2-2-14 leading over the Country. 1-2-8, 16 minutes gone in that opening quarter.
Pretty classy stuff there on that occasion. Combination of small forwards there, and as a consequence Metro get the advantage by one straight kick.
Interesting to see a bit of time and the players spending time on the phone down here at the bench. The bench is right below us, our broadcast position here, and both players from both sides spending time, both to their coaches, Brian Raw for the Metro and Peter Knights for the Country.
Brandon Symes and Patrick Flynn go at it once again. The takeaway with Metro, and Caruso is carving them up at the moment, sporting the number 2 for the Metro side. Now an opportunity for McCarg. He runs onto it. He wants to pull it back on the right. It's an awkward bouncing football for the Country defender, but he's happy to corral it over the line for a behind, and now the margin is back to 5 points as Metro lead 2-2-14, Vic Country 1-3-9.
One of those ones again, although they're on here through Hinckley, the Country. Beautiful kick over the top for Madden. Madden runs through 50. This is end-to-end stuff from the Country, and he drills a goal. What a fantastic goal from the Country. End-to-end stuff. Just got the player on the overlap over the top, and the long kick in from the fullback. 2 kicks and a goal. So so Country just back to a point down. 2-2-14 they are. Metro 2-3-15.
I think the scoreboard might be out. I think it might be the other way around, but we'll stand to be corrected come quarter time.
No, I've got that right. Yep.
Okay.
2-3 to 2-2. Yep.
So here we go. So Metro up by the 1 point as we see an opportunity as a kick off the ground from Metro straight up the centre, and McCarg once again, although he went without it on that occasion. There's Geary, he was dispossessed, and eventually the Metro retreat with the handball. comes out to the advantage of Ryan Jackson from Montmorency. Sends his side into attack. Could have been a push in the back there. The umpire not interested. Bursting through the pack. That's lovely work there by Paul. His kick on goal is to the near side and it's through for a minor score. So the advantage 2 points. Metro 2-4-16. Lenny Country 2-2-14.
So can they repeat what they do again? It's a long, lovely pass to the outer side of the ground. And a fantastic mark taken in the hands there by Willis, it wasn't Willis on that occasion, it was Morgan, who kicked one of the early goals. He works the old 1-2 and then sends it long up towards the wing position. Good punch away from Wallace on that occasion. Goes towards the boundary. Country with numbers, though. They should work it out. Wallace is going to get it back here. Might have got a free kick for too high. Not paid. Kennedy went in, got the football for the Country. Again, good pressure and tackling pressure from the Metro side. And we'll have a ball in. Of course, both sides with six-man interchanges here for this representative clash. Of course, there's a lot of, I suppose there's a fair budget out on the ground here with some of the wages and salaries that these players might be getting in their various competitions. As the ball works inside for the Country, chance to kick towards goal. Tardif is going to get there on the last line and he wanted to rush behind. And it was a very deliberate fumble to concede a minor score. Takes the Country on to 2-3-15, trailing Metro 2-4-16.
So Metro now offload by hand. There's Tardif from Collegians. Kicks towards centre wing and the mark's taken by Van Unen. He offloads by hand to a man who fumbles, who shuffles it back, and Van Unen is pretty much happy to see it over the refuge of the boundary line on that occasion because he was under a fair bit of pressure. As 19 minutes have elapsed here in our first quarter. 2-4-16 plays 2-3-15. Hope you're enjoying the coverage here on afl.vic.com.au. As kick off the ground attempt there on that occasion. There's a pack of players surround the football. There's Nat Caruso, the captain of the Metro side. And eventually they escape with the footy. They go inside attack now. An opportunity emerges for the likes of Joel Perry. The ball, though, swept away by the Vic Country combination. And now with a man in plenty of space. In fact, there's a couple of them. One of them's Darley's Steve Kennedy. He offloads by hand to a teammate in Tim Sheringham. Kicks towards half forward. Madden almost goes to ground. His man did, but he was good enough to get back up very quickly. Then they lock the Sharon in, and the umpire says we'll have another ball up as there was no real prior opportunity there. 45 metres out from the Vic Country goal, and we've got a blood rule coming into effect, I suspect, as the umpire just notices a little bit of claret coming from the mouth of one of the Metro boys. And we'll just await a few moments as we see his necessary replacement come on into the relevant position. 2-4-16 Metro, leading Country 2-3-15. 20 minutes have elapsed in this first quarter.
Interesting one. That he didn't go through the interchange gates. I'm not sure what the actual ruling is.
The umpire said you go straight off the ground there. That was rather interesting, wasn't it?
Because normally that means he'd struggle to come back on, but he sent him straight off, not waiting for him to go through the interchange gates. Nevertheless, back underway. Falls out to Morgan here, whose kick was partially smothered. Rice paddles towards his defensive goal line. Works a hand pass back there for Carter. Carter kicks it out of the danger area, but Mackie just couldn't haul it in at the critical time. Luby gathered the football, but he ran out of room, and as he kicked it, he was deemed to be out of bounds. So we'll bring it back to just outside the attacking 50 for the Country. They trail at the moment by a solitary behind. 2-3 plays 2-4. The goal kickers so far, Rennie Gilchrist and Fortunato Caruso for the Metro, for the Country. We've got goals to Madden and Morgan, and it's the Metro who work it away from that contest up towards half forward, although Barker just conceded a free kick there to his Country opponent in Jonathan Coe. And I think we're going to see whether it's 25 or 50 here. This is our first chance to see it, Wes.
And I think he's going to get the full journey here, 50 metres.
So 50 metres it will be. So certainly the full length of AFL. Is it 50 in most Country competitions?
Yeah,
it is. Okay. A lot of Metro, because the size of the grounds, it's always 25. As the hand pass was fed off there beautifully to Philo, who has a long-range shot at goal from outside 50, and he slots it through the middle for the Country. 3-3-21 they move to. Margin 5 points over Metro. 2-4-16. Fantastic goal from Philo. 22 minutes gone in the opening term.
Now, that was a cracking goal on the run, wasn't it, really? And he is a really accomplished player in the Bendigo Football League. Brody Philo, the Eaglehawk champion. So 5 individual goal kickers in our game so far. That one coming at the 22nd minute mark of our first term. And multiple lead changes already here at Avalon Airport Oval as we see the umpire throw the ball up once again. And the big leap there on that occasion came from Matthew Dennis, who palmed it down, but the takeaway is going to be with Country. Oh, deemed to have tried to beat the tackle there and have not done so successfully. That was Daniel Nichols penalised, the Geelong Footy League star from the St Albans Football Club, as we see Metro play on and the kick towards half forward. Tall Timber rests underneath it. There's McCarg. He almost went with it, and he eventually does win it. Geez, an exciting young player. Works the ball into the corridor, sweeping handball over the top there. Bit of body use on that occasion. Good work by the Country, though, equal to the occasion, although the kick into space is just a kick in hope. Awkward bouncing football for the Metro, so the opportunity emerges for Kevin Burke. He overruns the top of the footy. Rhett Jordan gets the sweeping handball out, and now a succession of handballs, and the big one comes back in board, and the Metro might be on here through the agency of Tardif. He kicks towards centre half forward, but eventually over the top, and it's going to be Country with an opportunity with a succession of handballs to actually escape the clutches of the Metro opponents.
Hinkley to Sheldon, and Sheldon sends a long ball up towards half forward. Big punch away. It's going to fall to Geary, though, who was front and centre. Beautiful hand pass over the top to Wallace. Wallace got it back to the running player there in Hampton, who ran to 50 and speared a ball to full forward. Beautiful pass, beautiful play, and Willis takes the mark. Just 5 metres out on a tough angle. He's going to be adjudicated to be brought right round up against that fence there. But from this sort of range and this sort of quality player in Daniel Willis, he should be able to just maybe run around, create a bit of room and kick the goal.
Kick 6 for the GVFL against Ballarat. He knows where the goals are.
So Willis, he goes very direct and deliberate with a drop punt and splits it through that tight angle for a goal. So he's got his first of the day. Becomes the 4th individual goal kicker for the Country. They do have 4 goals. They go to 4-3-27, and they get the first real break of this game over Metro, who remain on 2-4-16, 24 minutes gone in the opening term.
Yes, once again, another new goal kicker to the list. And the margin is out to 11 points, which is the greatest margin of our game so far here at Avalon Airport Oval. Hope you're enjoying the coverage. 24.5 minutes have gone in this first term. Big leap, the Metro with the takeaway. Kick forward, and McCarg's going to be one of the players to get across there. So too the big fella in Fitzgerald. But have a look at this, McCarg, number 13, once again on the run, 45-degree angle, 45 metres out, lets it go to the southern end, makes no mistake. And they've pulled that goal back straight away. It's back to a 5-point margin here at Werribee as Metro kick their 3rd goal of the game, and he joins Gilchrist and Caruso on the goal kickers list for the Metro combination. 4-3-27 plays Metro 3-4-22.
Superb goal. We've seen the glimpses from McCarg, and that's the first time he's had a real chance to have a shot at goal with some menace, and he delivered on that occasion.
Well, we were warned about him prior to the game, and he's equal to the occasion so far, isn't he?
Yep, certainly is. Waters, another big convincing knockout in the ruck contest, although stolen away for the Metro by Donaldson, who kicks it up towards half forward. A couple of players overran the football. Little toe poke there was good there from Fitzgerald. He got it out sideways there for Jenkins. Jenkins hand pass over the top for Jackson, just missed its target. Coughed up there again, going in Fitzgerald with the toe poke, couldn't quite do it. Caruso's first there, that's Nat Caruso. Hand pass backwards there for Mullet, and Mullet sends the ball up towards half forward. Fitzgerald just couldn't trap the football. Going in there was Dennis on that occasion. Got a hand pass out towards a teammate, heard the call, just couldn't quite claim possession. Good tackling pressure though from the Country, and we'll have a ball up at right half forward for the Metro. So margin back to 5 points. It's the Country on top, 4-3-27 to Metro 3-4-22.
So some 60 metres around from the scoring zone. The Metro in attack, but in arrears by 5 points, and the ball shuffled over the boundary line. We'll have a throw in as Country have successfully moved the ball 5 metres their way, but here we go once again with the boundary umpire throwing it in front. Position is with Matthew Dennis. No great advantage, although Metro are going to get a quick kick away. Nice gather almost by Tim Jenkins. Almost had it to go there on that occasion, but not quite. As we see running onto it is an opportunity for Joel Rice. He overruns the footy. There's a fair bit of opposition there provided by Kevin Burke. The quick kick forward off the ground. There's Brendan Hollow, the Rochester boy, works it out wide. Now Darley's Steve Kennedy moves it on. And now an opportunity emerges for Kevin Burke. He sends his side into attack, and the Country, all the marks spilt there on that occasion by Justin Madden. The ball goes to ground. Running onto it now is Kennedy. Is he grabbed without possession? Umpire says no. There's no interest in that particular decision. The quick kick forward comes from Metro. Awkward bouncing football overrun by a number of players. Great work on that occasion by Kane Taylor. He kicks inside 50 through hands as the ball's a little heavier and a little greasier, providing some challenges for the respective teams' players, and eventually the kick will bounce over the boundary line to be thrown in some 70 metres around from the Country goal. They lead at 4-3-27, 5-point leaders over Metro, 3-4-22, 27 and a half minutes gone, first quarter action.
Just some skill errors coming out of the back half there from the Metro side, just meaning they can't quite break clear. Great tackle there put on Kennedy. Got his arm pinned and holding the ball was a decision. Well done by Mullet, who comes away with it. Gives a little give and go across to Rice in the middle of the ground. He got it back to Caruso. Caruso runs sideways, then gives a hand pass away there towards Van Unen, who sends the ball up towards and finding McCarg, who takes the mark, plucks it out of the air. 20 metres out, 45-degree angle. He can go back and line up for his second to become the first multiple goal kicker of the day.
He's a beauty, this boy, isn't he?
Yep. Enjoying his work so far. Kwame McCarg from Deer Park in the Western Region Football League. Of course, a Western Region defeated Southern Football League in that 5th versus 6th match earlier this year, so they'll move up a section as McCarg comes in and, gee, kept it low, but he's managed to squeeze it home. So Metro bring it back and they take the lead again. 4-4-28 over the Country, 4-3-27 as we approach almost half an hour of play in this opening quarter.
Our first multiple goal kicker. As the lead changes hands once again.
Haven't seen who was it that got knocked out? Gilchrist, who did kick a goal. Haven't seen him back on the bench yet, so after he came off with that injury on that head clash earlier.
Back in the middle of the arena as Dennis and Big Tom Waters went at it once again. Metro with the takeaway, a sky-high kick, travels probably higher than it does long, although trying to go off the ground there was Luby. He was met very heavily once again as the siren sounds to end our first quarter action here at Avalon Airport Oval. And after a 29.5-minute first quarter, it's a very, very tight game. Not surprisingly, Metro 4-4-28. The goal kickers 2 to McCarg and 1 apiece to Fortunato, Caruso and Gilchrist. And 4-3-27 Vic Country. Morgan, Madden, Philo and Willis, the individual goal kickers there. And just a quick reflection on the first quarter action, Andrew.
Oh, fantastic game of football that we're seeing, and the conditions haven't had much of an impact on the contest at all. A couple of times the ball sort of slewed off the side of the boot, or the hand pass has been a little bit heavy, but overall the skill on display from both sides, and particularly I think the Country, who've seem to their kicking skills have outshone, I'd say, the Metro in this stage of the game. Metro seem to have worked harder for their goals. The Country, when they've gone forward, have seemingly scored more easily at this stage, although the Metro, as we look at the scoreboard, have had more scoring shots, so arguably they've had more of the play. I've really enjoyed seeing both of the good players from the respective competitions that you hear about and these names hear about blend together through the middle of the ground. And it's always interesting when you see guys that you know that are normally on ballers or wherever they might play regularly, but they're playing off a half-back flank or a half-forward flank because there's just so many guns going through midfield. Quality game of football so far. Both times, both moments throughout the game, there's been the Country's had a ascendancy and then the Metro side's had a ascendancy. Hard to really pick where it's going to go from here.
Indeed. We'll be back after a short break at quarter time. It's Metro 4-4-28 leading Country 4-3-27. Between Vic Metro and Vic Country sees a 1-point advantage to Vic Metro. You've got Wes Cusworth and Andrew Leonard from the Victorian Amateur Football Association.
Wes, we should mention where you're from, of course, from Win TV. Reading in sport every night, aren't you?
That's it.
Every night of the week?
That's it. Thank you very much, Andrew.
Beautifully done.
Yes,
so everyone should know your voice.
They hopefully will.
A lot of people won't know mine. Everyone should know your voice. Wes Cuthbert, great to be calling with you. We've seen a fantastic first quarter here. What have you enjoyed about it? Because you asked for my reflections before we finished up that first quarter.
Well, I think you were spot on when you just said the way the momentum ebbed and flowed, and the fact is one side appeared to have the run and then the other. As we begin the second quarter action, Andrew, kick us off. The 1-point advantage with Vic Metro.
Dennis slaps it over the back for Jackson, who fed a hand pass backwards there to Mullet, who kicks it up towards half forward, although it's chopped off beautifully by the country, and they send the ball up towards half forward. Tardif backing back, couldn't quite get there to affect it. Came out towards Hollow. Hollow spun it out beautifully here to Morgan. Morgan runs to 35 metres. Kick was partially smothered as it went up towards the goal line. Might be still a chance for the country. Under pressure here deep on the last line of defence. And the umpire calls for a ball up. Just a metre out from the country goal. They trail by a point here after an entertaining first quarter. The country often just getting over the back of the Metro side from the defence and streaming up the middle of the ground. Here's a chance though for Metro to break away. Jackson comes away with the football, kicks it up towards the centre wing position, punched away from Jenkins, and we'll have a boundary throw in front of our broadcast position here at Werribee's Avalon Airport Oval. The game, of course, moved, and thanks for joining us on aflvic.com.au for the live stream. Came down to Mackie from that contest. Hand pass came out to Sheringham, who sent the ball inside again for the country. They've done all the attacking so far in this third term. Falls out the back here for Spiteri. Got a hand pass over the top to Mullet. Mullet's kicks a beauty up towards the wing position, just through the hands there on that occasion of Van Unen, though. And Geary mops up for the country.
So Geary's handball comes back in board. It's an awkward sort of bouncing footy there on that occasion for Albury's Joel Mackie, and it's taken away there by Van Unen, who's done quite well. His awkward bouncing kick. An opportunity now emerges for Gillies. Geary, the handball there on that occasion, missed the target, but Geary will double back on this one. He's an absolute superstar in the Bendigo League, and he comes back in board and finds Rochester's Brendan Hollow. Hollow squares it up and finds a teammate on the last line of defence. So Metro continue to lead by 1 point. Offload to Luby, the skipper for the country team. He's kicked towards a teammate there at the intended target. There was Giampolo from Ballarat. Oh, good work though by Metro. And they have found that man in Quayne McCarg, the 22-year-old who's already kicked 2 goals. They came in succession in the 27th and 29th minutes of our first quarter. And he is an absolute live wire, this boy. He is providing enormous excitement for the Metro lineup as he comes in now directly in front and should have little difficulty as he comes in and kicks. Once again, it's a low kick to the northern end, but he makes no mistake. He has got 3 goals for the game to be our leading goal scorer. Metro 5-4-34, Country 4-3-27, and that comes 3 minutes into our second quarter.
Pass from Barker was just superb, and McCarg just finding himself in dangerous areas, isn't he? Getting away from his direct opponent and getting on the end of some good work further up the ground from his Metro teammates. Back in the middle of the ground, Dennis just won the ruck work, did his own roving, then got the clearing kick up towards half forward. Beautifully taken by Van Unen. A little hand pass was good to Caruso. Caruso's kick just over the head of Barker, who slipped at the critical moment. And Taylor will happily... No, will he take it out? He will now. So, in the Metro's attacking 50, they lead on the scoreboard by 7 points. And we're just 15 metres around from their goal. Thrown in the forward pocket, working to the front spot. Stewart for the country. Tried to get it towards the boundary line. Did so. And we'll see it over just a further few metres around. Reasonable crowd in here at Werribee's home ground. Of course, their home ground in the VFL. Avalon Airport Oval. Thrown in 20 metres around. Front spot there on that occasion from Flynn. Knocked it out, although it's the country with numbers. I think it's Mackie who came away with it. Did really well to get it out to his teammate who kicked to this near side. Bull leads in the race for the Metro. Paddles it in front of him. Tries to slap it backwards to the advantage there of his teammate in Boyd. He ran out of room. Good pressure put on there by Coe. And we'll have a throw in.
I'm interested in the fact that Tim Luby's actually manning up McCarg at the moment, and I'm a massive fan of Tim Luby's. He's a fabulous player, but I'm just wondering if McCarg might have just a touch too much speed for him, as we see the takeaway there on that occasion. Dan Nichols works his side forward, overrunning it there, or in fact awkwardly bouncing for Daniel Willis. But Willis will try to lay a tackle here as we see them provide some pressure. Opportunity emerges, and Kennedy offloads by hand to Burke, who sends it towards the corridor. Good hard running on that occasion by Campusano. Campusano clears towards the midfield region. A one-on-one contest. Running onto it now, and the Metro have got the numbers. They've got a 3-on-2 situation, although the kick's not a great one there, and it's going to be cut off by Brandon Symes as he goes to ground and then gets himself up as the ball spills out. The tackle laid. Hard tackle. Here's Luby. Luby's got a raking kick, but he doesn't get the ball to boot on time, and he's dispossessed And the free kick's gone the way of Van Unen, who is emerging as one of the better players for the Metro at this point in time.
He certainly is. Just got a bit of an update on that injury in that opening quarter to Rennie Gilchrist from Balwyn in the Eastern Footy League. He has had a concussion test and been having one, and he is done for the day. So they've ruled that he won't come back onto the ground. So the Metro down to 5 men on the bench. The Country still with their full 6 after Luby did get up from that same clash.
Vermont's 23-year-old Van Unen. A shot on goal now to the northern end. It's a beautiful kick off the boot. Does it hold its line? The goal umpire answers in the affirmative, and the margin is spread out to a game-high 13 points here at Werribee. Metro 6-4-40, leading Vic Country 4-3-27. And, well, not quite danger signs just yet, but a couple of goals in a hurry there from the Metro, giving them a good advantage.
Certainly was, and their good players are starting to really play well, and they're all good players out there, but the known stars, I guess, from their respective competitions that are in this side are becoming the standout players on the ground. So Dennis again thumps the ball away. Well done there on that occasion from Hollow, who managed to win it away, and the Country come forward. A good strong mark going back with the flight of the ball taken by Boyd. He goes across the face of goal, across centre half back away to Carter, who just collected on the bounce, hand pass in towards Dennis. Dennis forced to go back from where it came to Rice. Rice's little give was okay. Ends up out here sideways with Boyd. Boyd's kick's a good one, and a good mark taken there by Barker. And, just got a little shove in the back for his efforts of taking that mark. So Barker spears the ball up towards McCarg, takes a beautiful collect on the half volley, hand pass to Paul, who was forced to hurriedly kick to the top of the square. Big fly from behind, no mark taken, punched away. Country might rush it through. They do so through Stewart, and we have a minor score on the board. So Metro move on 5-5-35 to, or was it 6-5-41, to Country 4-3-27.
So Tommy Sheldon with the kick-in duties goes long, as he always does with the boot, and the mark's taken by Daniel Willis. Moving it on very quickly by hand. Dan Nichols sweeping handball out to the advantage of Kennedy. It was a half volley, set him a real task, and now they've turned it over. Metro has the numbers. Oh, there's an opportunity for Hampton to lay a tackle. He didn't quite get hold of the man that he was after, and as a consequence, Metro get a little bit of time. They buy it through the agency of Mullet. Now he's away, puts ball to boot and kicks towards half forward. And the intended target was Baldwin's Luke Barker, and the ball fisted over the boundary line. Barker certainly standing out when you wear nice, brightly coloured boots like that, the vote-catching boots, as we see 6-5-41 Metro leading Country 4-3-27.
How would you go about trying to catch votes? What would you do? Peroxide your hair, possibly? Or?
Something like that.
From the throw-in, Jackson sweeps a hand pass wide out towards Jenkins, who threw it on the boot up towards full forward. Big fly from behind. Here's McCarg, the danger man. Forced a hand pass backwards on that occasion to Barker, who snaps a goal. Geary on the last line of defence just plucks it with the with the right arm, hauls it in, has a couple of bounces running out of defensive 45. Hand pass over the top. Going to run into trouble here, Country, though they get out of it. Although forced to kick hurriedly was Wallace. And good tackle there being put on and pressure taken on Burke. He doesn't want to let that loose because Metro had plenty of numbers around the ball. And we'll have a ball up just forward of centre. The Metro in attack, and they're pushing here, the Metro. Putting the Country under some enormous pressure. Knocked out by Dennis. Jackson does well. He's getting a fair bit of football. Got it to Jenkins. Backwards to Rice. Rice passes up towards centre half forward, and a lovely mark taken there by Mullet. Oh, sorry, it's not Mullet. It is Perry who takes the mark. So Joel Perry from East Ringwood in the Eastern Footy League will go back and line up and have to kick this from about 55 metres on a slight angle. Again, the changes being rung here from both benches. Just so automatic now, the players, the way they run on and off and do their rotations. As we watch Joel Perry have to kick a long way, and that effort to try and get the extra distance didn't quite work as it came off the side of the boot, just to a dangerous area though. Punched away, ends up with McCarg, who kicks backwards. No 15, says the umpire. Play on, so Jenkins sends it up towards the Jackson direction, but a lovely mark, not paid, was it, to Geary, and he did take the mark, did haul it in, and he can relieve for the Country.
Offloads to Luby. Luby with a long, low raking kick and spots up his teammate in Jordan Erskine. Have not called his name a great deal, the former Port Adelaide Magpie. He's now playing for Grovedale as we see a succession of handballs. An opportunity now for Tommy Sheldon, the Kyabram Premiership player, Once again a handball. Finds Geary. Geary with the boot. He's got a man in midfield. Now they've got numbers and they can progress forward. Steaming forward is Luke Morgan, the Benalla star, and he finds Kennedy from Darley. Kennedy on 50. He's just surveying the landscape in front, and then he goes with a squaring kick. He's got a man out wide. The intended target was Kane Taylor, but it was fisted away by Metro. They did very nicely indeed. Now an opportunity for Van Unit. Back inboard to Barker. He offloads by hand, and now they'll turn it over where they could have done a lot better there, Metro, on that occasion. And now Metro can be hurt here as Country with a succession of handballs. It was Coe, and eventually out to a teammate. Little kick forward towards the advantage of Hampton. He's going to be outnumbered here, and Metro, with composure through Caruso, hugs the line, kicks towards half forward, ball fisted away, getting across. Oh, grabbed high was Coe. Surely a free kick. Umpire says no, play on. The ball spills out to the advantage of Gillies. Gillies retreats with a handball, and then he turned back to Sheldon.
Sheldon, beautiful left foot ball into the middle of the ground and finds Kennedy on his chest. Goes wide to the running Geary, although he put the kick behind him. He'd run a bit further afield than that. He's able to settle, though, and gather, and then sends the ball back from where it came to Morgan in the middle of the ground. A little give is okay, and the kick will come forward to centre half forward for the Country, just through the hands of Rice. He does well second effort, though. Hampton was there. They've worked it out, though, through this time Spiteri. His little give and go was okay. Out to Boyd. Boyd's hand pass to Caruso. Caruso's little ugly kick was okay. Almost a throw on that occasion there from Fitzgerald, although it was deemed to be a good hand pass. Came out to Paul. Paul's kick across the face of goal finds Jordan in the middle of the ground. He's in trouble here, Jordan. He'd want to get it moved on. He tries to work his way out of the tackle. Umpire let it go. Not bad from Jordan there. Spiteri got the kick high up and under ball. And Stewart dropped a mark he probably should have taken. Through the Country go. This time Luby couldn't quite get it. Good tackle on that occasion from Giapolo. And again, a big pack forms. We'll have a ball up right in the centre of the Werribee Football Ground, or the Avalon Airport Oval, for this match between AFL Victoria. Country sees them 4-3-27 to AFL Victoria Metro 6-5-41.
As the sun tries to break through the clouds once again here at Werribee, the big boys at it again. It's Waters, and the takeaway is with Vic Country. Kicking it forward there is Sheringham, inside 50. Metro's defence has been very strong to this point in time in the opening 12 minutes. Ball comes out. Oh, he did not know. Philo did not know the man was coming from behind, and he was dispossessed. As a consequence, Rhett Jordan now able to take it away. Kicks to a one-on-one, and whilst Country go to ground, it's taken by Jack Bull. He can take a bounce and then takes a second. He steams inside 50. The kick was smothered by Jack Geary, who got across in the nick of time, provided some resistance and saw the ball over the refuge of the boundary line. 55 metres around from the scoring zone. It's Metro going to the northern or Melbourne City end. They lead at 6-5-41. Vic Country 4-3-27.
That was one of those ones where Bull took an extra bounce he probably didn't need to take. He was sort of waiting for the forwards to lead. By the time they did lead, he'd had to take the extra bounce, and as soon as he looked up, Geary was in on him and able to smother his pass. And it was an opportunity that went begging. From the throw-in, another pack forms and ball up. We're often seeing these secondary and tertiary bounces once the umpire calls for an initial ball up. Kick goes inside up towards full forward. McCarg trapped it brilliantly and then speared a pass backwards there to Mullet, who takes the mark on his chest for 40 metres out directly in front. So Ryan Mullet from Vermont, former Chandler medalist in the EFL as well. Just one of their absolute supreme players in the Eastern Footy League. Well, he's already got one behind today. This for his first goal. Kicks from 45 metres. And he pops it through the middle. So, we mentioned it earlier in the call in this second quarter. Metro just putting their foot down a little bit here. And they extend their break further. They go to 7-5-47. Biggest lead of the game now. 20-point leaders over the Country, who are stagnant on 4-3-27. They haven't scored this term, Wes.
They have not. And that is a worrying sign. But I can tell you, if there's anything, the Country boys are a proud bunch. And they will fight this game in the best spirits of the game. They will fight this game right out to the final whistle. There's no final siren. There's no question of that. And there's a long, long way to go. There's only, 14 and a half minutes into this second quarter, and they will come back hard. Don't worry about that. As Metro win it away from the next ball up, and a quick handball offloads to Jenkins inside 50 once again, and Barker takes the mark, a 45-degree angle about 40 metres out. And whilst they're flashy green boots of Barker that make him stand out, let's hope for his benefit that they are boots that kick truly as the respective coaches continue to ring the changes. Peter Knights might have to make some significant structural changes if his side slips behind even further as a result of this kick. As Barker comes in now to the northern end, it's a nice kick, although it is just across the face to the far side. 21 points separate the two sides. 7-6-48. That's Metro leading Vic Country 4-3-27.
Barker with a couple of behinds today. Half-time in that other representative match, the country number 2 team, 9-7-61, leading the VAFA's Premier Beta Division 4 side 4-5-29. That down at St Albans in Geelong, that match being played concurrently with this one. The kick works its way up towards the wing position, and it's taken over just forward to centre for the country, and they need a goal quickly just to stay in touch more than anything. As you mentioned, Wes, of course, the game a long way to go, but as Jackson earns himself a free kick for being taken a bit high, gives it to Rice, who ran past, sends the ball up towards the space. Barker almost traps it on the half volley. He goes and butters up for a second time. Does brilliantly, does Barker. Hand passes backwards there to the running Carter. Carter sends it out towards the McCarg direction. Again, the kick just falling short. Geary's there, going to mop up and do again for the country. Hand pass back to Sheldon. Sheldon got it across there. Geary gets another hand pass, although it was partially smothered. Good pressure put on him. He goes and gets a third touch in that passage of play. Geary up towards Wallace, and Wallace can send the country forward.
Wallace with his kick can insist a little too heavily weighted for his forward, and the mark's taken by Metro. Just square it up now at an opportunity for Van Unen. He's been very good. Kicked a second quarter goal just minutes ago. Goes long now towards left half forward. It's a real physical battle emerging there on the half forward flank. There's Barker. He grabs the footy, then he's offloaded, and the umpire says, in fact, that he was dealt with unceremoniously and illegally, and as a consequence, the free kick's going to go the way of Luke Barker. 45-degree angle. This is beyond his range, one would imagine. He's going to kick from about 60 metres as he goes long towards the hot spot. The big fly comes from behind from McCarg. The ball goes to ground. Opportunity for country to clear. McCarg gathers possession. No, in fact, the free kick's paid. And Perry has won himself a free kick from about 25 metres out. Just a slight angle. Plenty of open space in front of him at the northern end. And this is real danger signs now for country if Metro score this one. As the sun strengthens its rays across the ground, which is a very, very positive sign for all involved down here at Werribee. As we see Perry comes in now, the East Ringwood forward, sporting the number 19 for Metro. The shot on goal is a beautiful kick, gun barrel straight over the goal umpire's hat, and the margin has spread to 27 points here at Werribee, as Metro 8-6-54 lead Vic Country 4-3-27. And time for country to respond, no doubt, Andrew.
No, it is. They do need that goal. As the margins creeps out to a 27-point margin now. Double the score at this stage. And ominous signs for the country side. Not sure what Knight's up in in his coach's box and his team would be thinking at this stage. It's not like there's a clear Victorian Metro winner out there. As they win it, they go again forward. Sheldon goes back, just bounced off his chest, couldn't take it. Geary kicks up towards half forward. Going back, Stewart couldn't haul it in for the Metro as they come sideways. And again, Van Unen, who's been, I guess, one of the more prominent players for the Metro side, takes the mark at half back. He sends the ball down the line, Bull and Stewart goes back, couldn't quite take the mark. Hand passed away, out there towards Carter, who just got shoved aside. Nicely done by Taylor. For the country, and he steps around a couple, then spears a nice ball up towards half forward, wanting to play on Erskine. He's held up there, couldn't go forward. Look at the numbers back there. It's all Metro jumpers inside that defensive 50 area as Erskine sends the ball up towards the hot spot. Good fly, almost a mark called down. Here's Kennedy, chance to dribble one through, and he does. No help through by Kevin Burke, and the country get the goal they were after. 5-3-33. Cut the margin back to 19 points. Metro 8-6-54. 20 minutes gone in the second term. Burke did well getting on the end of that Kennedy little dribbler.
Well, it potentially could have gone through itself, but he was making certain of Kevin Burke, and that was good initiative, and that's something like a cross that we might see tomorrow morning with the World Cup final. As 19 3/4 minutes have elapsed here in the second quarter, it's Metro 8-6-54, Country 5-3-33.
We'll go in a minute on that, the World Cup final.
The takeaway with the Metro through Rhett Jordan from Norwood. He kicks inside 50. Barker, the intended target. Getting back to provide resistance is South Bowen's Tom Stewart. Happy to see it over the boundary line, 30 metres around from the scoring zone. The margin is 21 points. It was 27 just minutes ago, but a great goal from Burke. But more importantly, Steve Kennedy set it up, the Darley boy, as the need for Country emerges to defend strongly once again. Gathered on this occasion by Jenkins. He is wrapped up in the tackle. The umpire says no prior opportunity. In fact, shuffled over the boundary line. And we'll have another throw in just 30 metres around from the scoring zone. The margin, 21 points to the favour of Metro.
Thrown in, right forward pocket. Good knockdown on that occasion by Flynn. Although numbers with the Country as they work it out by handoff half back through Giampolo. And his kick's a good one up towards the wing position. Country go in the direction of Burke, going back with a flight. Geary, who seems to be everywhere for the Country at the moment. Just overrunning the football, Campisano for the Metro. Metro work it out towards the Dennis direction. Does well below his knees, the big man, to hand pass out to Carter. Carter's kicks a good one up towards Jackson. Jackson sweeps a hand pass over the top to Jordan. Jordan runs to 52 metres, sends a long, long ball, bouncing through just offline. A minor score. 8-7-55, the Metro. Country 5-3-33, 21 minutes gone in the second term.
Oh dear, and overstepping the line on this occasion is Tom Gillies, and the umpire will bring the ball back, and this just puts Vic Country under even further pressure now. They're already 22 points in arrears, and with plenty of work ahead of them. And now we see a ball up at the top of the square, as the massive players converge around the football at the moment, as the umpire throws the ball up. Probably needing to concede another point. Jenkins gathers, and his quick kick forward is just scrambled through for a behind, another one, and Gillies won't make the same mistake again. 8-8-56, that's the Metro, leading Vic Country 5-3-33.
Kick comes to this near side, and the mark is taken by Luby, who was, as we mentioned, involved in that clash of heads with Rennie Gilchrist from Baldwin from the Metro side, who is off for the rest of the day with concussion. Mark taken there, although not going to be paid, I think, to Shane Tennant, who did really well. Hand pass back to Rice. Rice spears the ball into the middle of the ground, and Jackson sends the ball to the space in the Barker direction. He works his way to the back spot, as well done on that occasion by Stewart from the Country. And they're going to get out of trouble here through Wallace as they come off half back, send the ball up towards the direction there of Willis. He gathers on the bounce, goes one way then the other, then sends the ball to the top of the square, though he ran out of room on the other side. I think the boundary umpire has called it out of play, and we'll have a ball in about 70 metres from the Country's goal. Margin 23 points at this stage. Thrown in, right on the 50. Dennis knocks it down, although the clearing kick came from the Country inside. Not going to be paid a mark. Umpire said it was touch, so play on. Gathering it nicely on the bounce. Madden hand passes backwards, stepping one way, then the other, then having a flying shot at goal across the face of goal. Two players wrestling. It goes out of bounds just next to the behind post. We'll have a throw in.
Well, interestingly, Peter Knights has thrown the very versatile Tim Luby forward. We know that he can play at both ends of the ground. He's primarily a defender, but he's been thrown forward, and that's maybe just to try to spark something inside front 50, as we see the Metro combining, and now it's Lee Spiteri. Spiteri has a short option on, and it's a looping kick, and finds his teammate, who wastes no time, but his kick was partially smothered there, moves forward, but eventually Metro gather possession once again. Van Unen, he's been very, very good. He throws the ball on the boot, and it'll be Gillies sitting underneath it, taking the mark. Gillies doesn't even need to really go back behind the mark. It kicks towards the Jonathan Coe direction on that occasion, and then Metro happy to see it over the line through Thomas Paul, Melburnians, and alongside the interchange gates. The boundary umpire comes into effect. It's 23 points the margin. The lead with Metro.
Front spot, well done on that occasion. Waters knocked it down, comes out nicely here there for Philo. He got slung as he kicked it, and Paul will be paid the mark. Just barely travelled the 15 metres, but the umpire generous enough to pay the mark on that occasion. So they've managed to snaffle one goal, the Country. They probably need another one before half-time just to cut that margin back under 20 points. Kick from Paul up towards half forward. Free kicks going against Bull there for infringing in that marking contest in between three Country players. Sheldon to go back and take the kick. No, in fact, it's going to go back to Jonathan Coe. who immediately hand passes to Sheldon. And Sheldon, that long left foot kick's a good kick, but it's ill-directed, and it's chopped off there by Mullet. So Mullet forced to go back behind his mark, spears a pass in, wastes no time, and finds Jesse Donaldson, who marks 42 metres out on a 45-degree angle. Just looking a bit more clinical at the moment, the Metro.
Yeah, they're hitting their targets a bit better, aren't they?
They are, and take a look here at Jesse Donaldson from Montmorency in the Northern Footy League. Kicks from outside the 50. He doesn't quite make the distance, and it's helped through off hands through for a minus score. So 8-9-57 Metro, leading the country 5-3-33, 25 minutes gone in this second term.
Well, I can tell our Golden Square supporters that are watching on aflvic.com.au that Jack Geary is playing an absolute belter of a game today. In my opinion, probably the best player on the field for Vic Country. He needs some support as we see Gillies goes back to Sheldon. Sheldon now, who's got a lovely raking left foot kick, and he finds his teammate in Giampolo, the Redan superstar from the Ballarat Footy League. And now the Vic Country might have something as they build through Paul Hinkley. The Southampton League representative in this squad kicks for and finds a teammate. And now an opportunity emerges as Vic Country go inside 50, but that final kick inside 50 was where they've been breaking down most of this quarter, and it's broken down once again as Metro win it back. Here's Van Unen, and then he finds a teammate who spills the mark. It was Caruso of the Nat variety spilling the mark, but eventually his teammates work it forward and find his brother in 26-year-old Fortunato Caruso, and he offloads to a teammate. A quick shot on goal comes from Metro, and Jesse Donaldson has booted his first goal of the game, and another one to extend the margin out to an even 5 goals here at Werribee. It's 9-9-63 Metro, leading Vic Country 5-3-33, and once again we have a game-high lead at Avalon Airport Oval.
We do indeed, and again a turnover through the middle of the ground. They're breaking down across half forward at the moment of the country. They're not able to just get that mark to either hold up play or build an attack to send them inside 50. And when it breaks, the Metro guys off half back are streaming forward, and they're delivering with more precision. On this occasion, ends up with Donaldson, and Donaldson kicks the goal for Metro. And now we've got a free kick from the centre, although it's going the way of country on this occasion. So what can they mount here? As the country send the ball up towards, and again the kick is wide and offline, and it trickles out of reach of Wallace, and that's a disappointing result for the country when you've got free use of the ball in the middle of the ground to send it almost diagonally wide and into this right half forward flank. Nevertheless, they're forward to centre, margin 30 points. I mentioned another goal here, be very important for the country. Comes out here, Jenkins overruns the football, going through their on hands and knees, tries to burrow out for the country. Paul just dropped it, and we'll have another ball in.
Well, they need a late one, don't they, the country boys? They trail by 30 points, and there's a lot of work ahead of them as we see it palmed down on this occasion by Gisborne's Tom Waters. The kick off the ground, though, by Metro, and now Metro away once again through Nat Caruso. He sends his team forward. There's a one-on-one situation, but it's going to be country leading the Metro to the footy there on that occasion, and the ball over the line. As the siren has sounded to end our first half here at Avalon Airport Oval in Werribee. It's Metro 9-9-63. 30-point leaders over Vic Country 5-3-33. The margin was just 1 point at quarter time, but we saw 5 second quarter goals to 1, and as a consequence, in fact, 6 quarter goals to 1. And the margin is 30 points at half time, and there's obviously some a great deal of enthusiasm amongst the Vic Metro boys at the moment. They're feeling pretty chipper with themselves right at the moment, as you can see there, Andrew. And
yeah,
I dare say that
it's interesting the way that they're all sort of walking along in a line, giving each other high fives and not collecting as a group. I suppose they're all keen to get around to each other, and that would have been implemented at the training sessions that they've held. And of course, they haven't held many training sessions, and of course for the country, I guess it's even harder to hold those training sessions. But the Metro guys should be pretty happy with the way they performed in that second quarter. 5 goals, 5 for the term, 10 scoring shots to just the 1. And at one stage, it looked like the game was just going to blow out a bit further than what it did, unable to kick the goals that maybe they had the chances to. A couple of rush behinds in that score, but there certainly were extra chances there for Metro to kick further afield. As it stands, a 30-point lead, a 5-goal margin is a pretty good one, and Brian Royal has plenty to work with his side. Despite being a man down on the bench, they of course lost Rennie Gilchrist with a clash of heads in that first quarter, off with concussion.
I suppose when you've got 6 on the bench, it doesn't seem to make that great an impression.
It doesn't make that much of a difference, but no, the Metro are pretty happy with the way they're going. Their goal kickers are varied. They're all sharing the ball beautifully, and whereas in that opening quarter it looked like the Country had the superior foot skills, the Metro certainly showed in that second term that they had the foot skills to match. So made use of all their scoring opportunities to get a 30-point lead at half-time. 9 goals 9 to the Country, 5 goals 3.
Yes, just the 1 goal coming from the boot of Burke during the course of that quarter. And as a consequence of that, we see the goal kickers for Vic Metro. We have McHarg has 3, and we have singles to each of Caruso, Donaldson, Gilchrist, Van Unen, Mullet, and Perry. And for Vic Country, Burke, of course, has that 1. Philo, Madden, and Morgan, all the goal kickers. So 9-9-63 Metro at halftime, leading Vic Country 5-3-33. We'll take a short break, and we'll be back with the second half action. Dominant first half by Metro, particularly in that second quarter, Andrew.
Certainly was, Wes, and great to be back for the second half. Looking forward to seeing how Country respond, considering how Metro piled on 5 goals 5 in that second term to take it from a 1-point advantage at quarter time to a 30-point advantage at half time. Country need to muster something. They have a full complement on the bench. They're raring to go. Let's hope Peter Knights has given them a big rev up their coach at half time, and they can really work their way back into this game as darkness descends on Chirnside Park, or Werribee's Avalon Airport Oval. Here he is, Wes Cusworth, to get us underway for the second half.
And as we found the start of the game, we'll have a secondary ball up as neither side able to clear it. And Joel Mackey from Albury pulling himself up off the surface. 30 points the buffer at the moment. Jack Geary in the midst of the action. He, in my mind, was the leading player for Vic Country across the first half of the game. And I reckon he's going to be one that will continue to battle it out right through to the finish. Sheringham almost went without it, but he was held up. There's Jack Geary. He's tackled and he can't get a clean disposal away. And once again, we have...
He's got a free.
In fact, he has got a free kick. The umpire said that, Jack Geary, you were first in line, and as a consequence, copped a bit of pressure from behind. So Jack Geary, what can he conjure up as he sends his team forward long into attack? There's an opportunity, and the mark taken by Vic Country, deep in attack. And we'll just spot up the player concerned. And that is a very, very important start, as it's Daniel Willis, the Shepparton forward who kicked 6 goals for the Goulburn Valley Football League at Shepparton's Deakin Reserve when they defeated the Ballarat Football League in May. And this is a very, very important kick-on goal for Daniel Willis.
Well, he's dropped the long sleeve, so he's come out with a bit more, bravado about him. Hopefully he slots it.
Yes, he comes in now to the northern or Melbourne City end of Chirnside Park. He just leans back on the kick a little bit there on that occasion, and as a consequence leaves it out to the right. It's through for a minor score. 29 points separate the two sides. Metro remain 9-9-63, Vic Country 5-4-34.
1-1 today for Willis as the Metro side huddle. Tardif does the kicking out duties and hits up Jesse Donaldson, who kicked a fantastic goal in that second quarter. Donaldson comes long down the line, and a good mark taken by Tom Waters for the Country. Immediately hand pass back to Geary. Geary on the left. Sends it inside, back from where it came for the Country. Big fly from behind, couldn't quite get it. Going through hard is Wallace, can't quite claim possession. Working it out, Spiteri, whose kick is chopped off here by the Country's Sheldon. And he sends a long left football back to that same pocket again. Fly from behind, punched away on that occasion by Sam Boyd. And we will have a throw-in in the left forward pocket as the lights do come on here. I did mention it was pretty dark. Good enough of them to put the lights on to lighten up the proceedings here.
Ball thrown in. Country deep in attack, an opportunity to make something of this next contest. And once again, the umpire says we'll have a ball up. And congratulations to the umpires on having been appointed to this game. I know that they, just like the players, vie for selection, want to be the very best and umpire the best sort of games available. So the big boys go at it once again. Running into the contest. The Metro boys are able to take it away. Little kick along the commentary side of the ground. Barker was the intended target. Ball fisted away through the interchange gates, and we'll have a boundary throw in. 9-9-63. That's Vic Metro leading Vic Country 5-4-34. 3 minutes into the third term here at Chirnside Park.
Thrown in, centre wing, right in front of our broadcast position. Caruso just couldn't quite gather the football. Waters winning one in his ball from the ruck contest. Ducking in and out of trouble was Mackie. Little hand pass give for Wallace was chopped off there by Tardif. He's wrapped up in a strong tackle. Actually took up the whistle for a couple of games this year, Wes, just to sample it out. I got thrown the challenge by our umpire's boss, and I can tell you it's a lot more challenging than I expected it to be. From the contest, Paul gets the kick away up towards a wrestling contest, and Kennedy won that out against Caruso. Hand pass, though, was a poor one. It was intended for Sheldon. It was chopped off by Barker. He got it to Caruso. He sent it into the path of Mullet, slapped it forward there for McCarg. McCarg's little chip over the top to the space. Running out onto it will be Perry when he gets there, slaps it back towards Mullet. Mullet hand pass back to Perry. Perry gives a don't argue, runs to the pocket. Hand pass back inside for Jenkins, I think it is, and he's kicked a goal. What a fantastic bit of play from the Metro. And sorry, it's not Jenkins, rather, it is Donaldson. Donaldson snaps the goal from the pocket. He gets his second of the day. He kicked one in the second, and now he has one in the third quarter. And in the first of the third quarter goes the way of the Metro. They kick their 10th of the day. They go to 10-9-69, leading the country 5-4-34. Margin slips out to 35 points.
Well, that was precisely what Vic Country could not afford to let happen, and Donaldson kicked goals on either side of the half-time break, and now the margin, as Andrews made mention, is out to 35 points. They'll almost get the next takeaway, although the kick was smothered off the boot of Paul. Retreating with a handball, but nonetheless progressing forward now by boot through Nick Carter. The race is on. Players in question, Jesse Donaldson and also Tom Sheldon, and the ball over the boundary line to be thrown in between centre wing and half forward, just in advance of centre wing for the Vic Metro combination, leading by 35 points, early doors, third quarter. Plenty of time left in the game, but the country need to respond quickly, and Metro have possession at the moment. The sweeping handball comes back inboard, opportunity for Spiteri to send his side forward. He does so. It's a one-on-one contest, juggling mark attempt. There's McHarg at the front and square position. The umpire is going to watch as he says, you jumped on the footy and didn't dispose, and as a consequence, the free kick goes the way of Big Tim Luby, the skipper for the Vic Country lineup.
Works it out sideways here to Sheringham, who takes the mark at half back, and he sends it back towards Luby. Luby now goes one way, then hand passes back to Sheringham. They've worked themselves into a bit of trouble here, although he's good enough to pick it up on the half volley and send up to the wing position. Arms possibly chopped there from Boyd, couldn't get to the mark completed. Picked up there by Madden, who hand passed it forward in the direction there of Wallace, but it went over the boundary line and off hands out of bounds. My point about umpiring, Wes, was that I reckon I umpired various levels on the way through. I've done 3 so far this year. It's actually harder the lower levels you go. So these umpires aspiring to these higher levels, it's pretty easy out there.
That seems to make you think the AFL might be the easiest standard of all.
Exactly right. Thrown in and another ball up. We'll have a ball up. Just forward of centre for the country. They need a goal desperately. Margin 35.6 minutes into the second term.
So the ball thrown up as it's Dennis and also Waters contesting, but Metro once again the takeaway through Jenkins, kicks towards half forward, and that's a really good mark taken by Tommy Stewart. Stewart moves it on very quickly, worm burning sort of kick towards midfield, bypasses a number of players, taking possession is Tardif, retreats with the handball, finds his teammate in Montmorency's Tennant, who offloads again. Caruso sends it forward and the mark's taken by Mullet. Now Mullet will move it on towards the commentary side of the ground, a 2-on-1 situation, but Jackson is good enough. Swings onto the left boot, kicks towards half forward, sitting underneath the big fella from Metro. He's dispossessed. Caruso grabbed, has his shorts almost ripped off him. The umpire says you've gone over the shoulder, and as a consequence, it'll be Caruso taking the free kick for the Metro lineup. Metro in advance by 35 points. Country with plenty of work to be done. Kicks deep into the pocket. Barker the intended target. Ball over the boundary line to be thrown in 35 metres around from the scoring zone. It's 10-9-69 Vic Metro leading Vic Country 5-4-34.
So throw in to take place inside the Metro's attacking 50. Paul fumbles the first opportunity, fumbles the second opportunity. Jenkins also just got ripped off the football. Good pressure there by the country. Came out from Giapalo. His kick, though, chopped off on this occasion by Boyd. Boyd on centre wing between the interchange gates, where he sends the ball inside. And Jenkins takes the mark, immediately plays on to Rice, and Rice spears the ball up towards Barker at the back. Couldn't quite haul it in. McCarg's there as well. Perry tried to work something out of nothing, couldn't do so. Taylor came away with it, got it away to Kennedy, and the country can repel this attack. goes out wide towards the outer side, and Philo, and it's punched away from him and slapped over the boundary line and out of bounds. 70 metres around, still left half forward for the Metro side. They lead comfortably by 35 points at this stage. 8 minutes in to this third quarter of this AFL Victoria clash between Metro and Country. Country with the free kick off half back. They can clear now up towards the long lead here, towards the wing position. 2 on 2. As Burke just got a little shove against Pateri, and Burke will go back and take the free kick.
So Kevin Burke from the Geelong Footy League, inside 50 now, the lead comes forward, and there's a holding free kick paid. Called the play on advantage, the kick on goal. Is this another one for Country? No, it's not. The advantage not working in the favour of Redan's Chris Giampolo there on that occasion. It's through for a minor score as he pushed it to the far side. 10-9-69 Metro leading Vic Country, progressing to 5-5-35.
Mark taken by Dennis. Hand pass to Jenkins, who has a bounce running off half back. And they're up to the wing position. Barker a long way from home, but lovely lead out and takes the mark in his hands. Wheels around on the right boot and sends it up towards half forward. Bull forced to fly from behind. Going back with courage there was Symes. Or Sims? Sorry, Symes. And I think he's going to get
from Yarrawonga.
I think he's going to get a free kick here. Here's Brandon Symes. Just got to cop the knee in the back for his troubles. He hand passes away. And the Country through Sheldon goes backwards towards the goal square, and it might just be conceded. Here it is for a minor score conceded there by Tim Luby. So Metro go on 10-10-70, Country 5-5-35.
Lubes with the big left foot kick and a nice mark taken by Nat Caruso. Caruso swings onto the left, kicks towards half forward, and the mark's taken by Jack Bull. From Old Scotch, Bull, you saw him take one bounce too many early on in the quarter. Early on in the game, as here's an opportunity for Stewart to clear for Country. He finds his teammate in Jordan Erskine, who's a long way from where he typically plays up forward for the Grovedale Tigers. He kicked 15 goals against Lara in a game earlier this year. Kicks towards half forward. Bit of a shove under the footy there by Daniel Willis. He was hoping the ball might spill over the back of the pack. It did so, and he's got an opportunity now. Here's an opportunity for Burke. He goes to ground. Now bursting through is Giampolo. Ball spills out to Lonnie Hampton. He is such an exciting player, Lonnie Hampton, but we just haven't seen him with enough opportunities to this point in time. And the free kick's going to go his way on this occasion. He squares the kick up. He's got a couple of options, and he finds one of three. And the mark's taken by Tim Sheringham, the Geelong Footy League star, and he will have a shot for goal from directly in front and kick from just inside the arc. An important kick to pull this back under 30 points. He comes in now. Deliberate over to Sharon. To the northern end, it is out to the right, and it's just scraping through for a behind. 5-6-36 Vic Country, trailing Metro by 34 points. It's the City Boys 10-10-70.
Rice with the kicking in duties goes wide to the outer side. It's a fantastic kick who finds Jackson on his chest unopposed. His kick down the line for Barker just came off his shins out of bounds on the full. It was unfortunate, one of those unfortunate ones there. Free kick for the Country, centre wing outer side of the ground. So they've had a bit of possession now, the Country, in the last 5 minutes or so. Just need to make it count on the scoreboard. Just with the 3 behind so far. And the opportunities have been coming, but haven't been able to convert them. There was a chance where they played on with a bit of advantage, and it was Giampolo who ran in and missed the chance at goal. We also saw Tim Sheringham just miss a shot, so they were definite chances that the Country could have just brought this margin back to within touching distance. Comes away from the pack here. Hand pass came sideways there from Donaldson out to Jackson. Jackson gave it along the line. Donaldson working there well with him. Gets it back there nicely for Fitzgerald. Hand pass further afield to Mullet, who sends the ball up towards Barker, and Barker marks on his chest. 35 metres out on a slightly worse than 45-degree angle, and he can go back, and he will certainly have a shot at goal from this range.
He had a ripping second quarter, Barker, and he started the third quarter pretty well too, despite being fairly quiet in that first term.
Looks equally comfortable on the lead as a lead up forward, or sort of wrestling as well. He's done a lot of the wrestling with it, engaged in that. That might be a product of the way the ball's been delivered to him, but here he is with that delivery. Was pretty good on that occasion to him as he kicks from about 40 metres, pushes it across the face of goal, and just sneaks it in for a minor score. So Barker has 3 behinds today, despite the plaudits we've been giving him. 10-11-71 Metro. Country 5-6-36, 35 points the margin. 12 and a half minutes gone in the third.
Country with an opportunity through GM Polo, although he set a real task, and the umpire says he was grabbed too high on that occasion. He wastes no time, plays on, and he'll come to the commentary side of the ground. He kicks long towards the advantage of his teammate Sheringham, who marks. Swings onto the left boot, kicks towards half forward. Hinkley sets himself, had the grab, couldn't hold on to it. Geary went to ground. Jenkins sweeps on the footy. Gathers, often net Caruso. Sweeping handball once again. Here's McCarg. He's been outstanding today. Has his kick smothered on this occasion? Not such a great result. He's fended off there on that occasion by the big fella there in Brandon Symes, and then eventually retreating with the handball. Brendan Hollow is worked over the boundary line right in front of us in the commentary position. But across the ground we can see their scoreboard that says Metro 10-11-71 leading comfortably. Country 5-6-36 midway through this third quarter.
Thrown in, comes out here to Jenkins, who read it best off hands, weaved his way through the traffic, sent a ball up towards Barker. Great defensive effort there on that occasion. Caruso got there to the fall of the ball first, kicked it off the ground. Sheldon recovers, back in deep in defence, hooks it round. Gee, it's a dangerous kick right across in front of goal. It might make them pay here, the Metro, if they can work it out. Jackson tries to slap it to the advantage there, can't do so. Ends up here with a flying shot at goal. Beautiful kick around the corner from Rhett Jordan, and he's kicked a fantastic goal. So they did make them pay. That strange decision to kick back into the hot spot there from Sheldon across his face was really obscure in the context of the game and in the context of all defensive efforts that you should be doing. It's ended up with a goal to Rhett Jordan, his first of the day, and more importantly, Metro get their 11th, 11-11-77, Country 5-6-36.
Well, it's really slipping into dangerous territory now. 41 points separate the two sides. And that's really quite uncharacteristic for Tommy Sheldon to make a mistake of that nature. His side premiers in the Goulburn Valley Football League last season under the watchful eye of former Melbourne player David Dirty Williams. Here's an opportunity. Lonnie Hampton steaming forward, shot on goal on the run, and he has pulled one back immediately for the Country. Lonnie Hampton from Albury kicks his first goal of the game, and Country moves along to 6-6-42. The margin back to 35 points. Metro 11-11-77 midway through the third quarter, and that's an important goal, potentially to spark something for the Country boys.
Well, let's hope so. It was a good bit of play, the instant reply that you want to see from the Country, and they get their sixth goal of the game. At the moment, they've only got 2 goals since quarter time. The Metro have piled on 7 goals since then, so you know, here they go again though, the Country, this time through Hollow, who sends them up to centre-half forward. Good defensive play on that occasion by Boyd. Just slaps it clear. Boyd goes in again, tries to win it. Well done there by Symes, who tried to slap it to advantage. It comes out the back here. Slap it. Shot goal. Giampaolo just offline. Giampaolo, sorry it is. And a minor score. He's got a couple of behinds to his name today. 6-7-43 the Country. They're pressing. They just need to make the most of their opportunities. Metro 11-11-77.
Long kick in, Metro marking and moving it on quickly through the agency of Jordan. And it's taken away by Country, sent straight back into attack. It's a 3-on-2 situation. The numbers with Metro, but Country take possession, wrapped up in the tackle. No prior opportunity. The umpire appropriately says we'll have a ball up some 35 metres out from the Country goal. 11-11-77, plays 6-7-43. What can the Country conjure up now as we see Waters going at it? Ball spills to ground. Clean possession taken by Metro. Succession of handballs, and then the kick partially smothered. Falls to the advantage of Ryan Jackson. He has got some room in which to move and then finds his teammate in Ryan Mullet, who offloads by hand. Caruso tries to buy some time. The handball smothered, puts Mullet under a fair bit of pressure. Mullet uses some time and shows some poise and then kicks towards half forward, and a good mark taken by Metro as they head into attack. And the recipient of that mark on that occasion was Joel Perry. So Perry kicks towards half forward, and the mark taken as it's cut off there by Brendan Hollow, the Rochester star.
Goes across the face of goal to the other side of the ground. Running player there was Morgan, who gets it up towards the wing position, and they've worked it inside beautifully. That's beautiful transfer of play, and it ends on the chest of Daniel Willis, 45 metres out from goal. Fantastic bit of play from the Country. They got it. That's probably one of their best moves, besides that early in the game when they went from coast to coast, when they scored from a kick out of a behind. But that bit of play off the back line, fantastic from the Country. Let's see if Willis can get the just rewards for the Country. His kick fades on its trajectory, won't make the distance. Mark almost on the line. Is it going to be paid? Paid. Well, he didn't have a lot of it, but he had enough of it, Jordan Erskine, and he can go back and line up, and this should be the goal that they need.
Well, Jordan Erskine is known for this down in the Geelong Football League. He's done well with Port Adelaide Magpies before coming across to Geelong, and one would expect that he should nail this.
Let's hope he does. Just a couple of metres out, slight angle, runs around and pops it through and kicks the goal. So an important one for the country. Jordan Erskine gets his first, the country's second in a row, I believe. First time they've scored back-to-back goals, I think, for the game. I think you've got those statistics in front of you, Wes, but I think it's the first time they've scored back-to-back goals for the game. They might have kicked the first two of the game.
22nd and 24-minute marks of the first quarter they did so, but apart from that, you're right, they've struggled to do that, but that is a really positive sign as the margin's cut back to 28 points.
Yep, 7-7-49 the country, Metro 11-11-77.
And that's precisely what Peter Knights is wanting from the likes of big Jordan Erskine, and that's what Grant Tanner wants to see when he returns to Grovedale in the Geelong Football League from next week. Battling hard there is Gisborne's Tom Waters. Good work to see the big fella following his own ruck work up, but it's taken away by Ryan Jackson of Montmorency. Kicks towards Barker's advantage, and he takes the mark. Strong lead-up work there by Barker. Now he swings around onto the right. He's got a lead forthcoming, and just moving into position strongly there. Taking a good mark is the big fella Matthew Dennis, the Bundoora 27-year-old, who'll kick from a 45-degree angle and kick from about 30 metres out, and can just perhaps slow things up a little bit as we see the country coming hard at Metro right at the moment, but an opportunity for Metro to just put a stop to that as we approach the 20-minute mark of our third quarter. Here comes Dennis. 45-degree angle. It's a nice shot on goal, but he is just pushing it to the far side through for a minor score. The margin is 29 points here at Churnside Park in Werribee. Metro 11-12-78, leading Vic Country 7-7-49.
Again, they go up the middle, up towards the Geary direction. Couldn't quite haul it in on that occasion. Waters there to try and help him out. They might get it out this time through the aid of Gianpaolo, who's finding a bit of football in this third quarter. Chopped off there by Tennant for the Metro. Kicks up towards the Bull direction. Bull paddles it, then hand passes out towards Jackson. Tries to lash up. Look at Geary dive in hard and very quickly came off the foot there of Jack Bull. And the free kick will go here for the country to Kane Taylor. He goes backwards there to the skipper in Luby. And Luby runs around and then sends a left foot ball down the line up towards the wing position. Punched away there. Good spoil on that occasion by Pat Flynn. Went towards the boundary. A couple of players happy to see it over there. Dan Nichols, and with him is Nick Carter from the Metro side. Carter from Northcote Park, and Nichols from St Albans in Geelong. We're at the moment just in that other game for that score, if you're interested in that game as well. The Victoria Country number 2 team have about a 5-goal lead at three-quarter time. Kick comes inboard from Donaldson, up towards the pocket. Slap around the corner from Van Unen, up to the top of the goal square. McCarg is there, but the kick's offline and away, and it goes out of bounds in the opposite pocket, about 10 metres around from the Metro goals. They lead on the scoreboard 11-12-78 to Country 7-7-49. 21 minutes gone in this third term. It is the Metro versus the Country.
Hinkley goes at it alone on that occasion. Fists it away. Probably could have hauled it out of the ruck there, like a rebound in basketball, but he chose to go with the fist. Opportunity emerges for Metro. No, the free kick has been paid, and it's going to go the way of Country deep in defence. So an opportunity now for them to clear. Hampton a long way from that front 50 where we find him so regularly making an impact for Albury in the Ovens and Murray Football League, and just stepping over the line there on that occasion. We'll have a throw in 55 metres around from the Metro scoring zone. 22 minutes gone in this third quarter. 11-12-78 plays 7-7-49. Metro with the advantage, and they've got the advantage here again with the numbers. They retreat with the handball, then kick inside 50 and just finding a little bit of space, then called the play on. Must have been touched off the boot. Ryan Jackson goes one way, then the other, weaves his way out of trouble, then kicks towards the hot spot. Throwing himself at the footy was a Country player, but it's taken by McCarg. He's dispossessed, trying to burst through the pack. Oh, but the handball falls only so far as Metro, and a quick snap on goal. And Metro have pulled one back, and the margin is spread once again to 35 points. And the goal kicked by Van Unen, and terrific stuff by him. That's his second goal of the game. Kicked a goal in the second quarter. And now Metro 12-12, 84 lead Vic Country, 7-7, 49. And that almost came against the flow of play.
It did, Wes. And look, Country have been on top. They kicked a couple of goals, and then just when it looked like they were going to make a little run at the Metro side, Metro steadied with a goal there to Van Unen. Last couple of scores of the game behind and a goal. But here go the Country through the aid of Wallace. He got pulled off it, so did Coe. Strong tackling pressure by the Metro guys. And they've been fierce at the contest all day. Thrown up again in the middle of the ground. 0-0 draw in the ruck contest. Country through Wallace, tried to get it forward. Came to Paul of the Metro, who kicks it up towards half forward. Strong mark from Dennis. Dennis hand passes away to Donaldson. Donaldson runs to 50, sends it to the top of the square. Back forwards Perry, who's forced to spoil on that occasion. And seeing it through is Paul Hinkley for a minor score. So another rush behind. They work it in quickly again. The Country, so it's chopped off there. Falls to Paul. Paul has another shot at goal inside, all inside 5 seconds of play. And that hit the behind post, so it will go out of bounds. And we'll have a boundary throw in. Out of bounds on the full, in fact it was. So we'll have a free kick. So no score there. So 12-13, 85. That's the Metro. Country is 7-7, 49.
Shepparton United co-coach and captain of the Vic Country side, Tim Luby, sends his side forward with a long raking kick from deep in defence, and the ball eventually worked over the boundary line between centre wing and half forward. 85 plays 49, and perhaps just a few minutes remaining in this third quarter, and Country desperately needing a goal to pull themselves back into contention in this game if they're to conjure up something. There's Jenkins showing good speed, offloads to a teammate. Now Metro go forward with the kick towards centre half forward. McCard throws himself at the footy and takes the chest mark some 45 metres out from goal. He has kicked 3 goals for the game. 2 came in the first term and 1 in the second, and now a shot on goal coming deep in this third quarter. He'll kick to the Geelong or southern end of Chirnside Park. He looks around and...
He was the standout player early, wasn't he, really? And he sort of went quiet for a little patch as other players picked up their games, but good to see him still back in the contest at this stage of the game.
Indeed. He is very deliberate now as he sets his sights over the share and kicks towards the southern end. It's a nice long kick off the boot. Might not actually go the journey, and Hinkley there on the very last line of defence will take the saving mark for the Vic Country lineup. Hinkley now comes out to the commentary side of the ground. It's a 2-on-1 situation. Good mark taken there on that occasion by big Brandon Symes. He offloads by hand. It's Brendan Hollow who kicks towards midfield. The mark's taken. And now they're away through Tom Gillies. Ball back in board though, closed down there by the Metro combination. Opportunity for Luke Morgan, the Benalla superstar, kicks inside 50. The mark spilt there on that occasion. The intended target was Justin Madden, a Goulburn Valley Football League teammate. The ball just spills outside 50 for the Vic Country lineup and eventually over the boundary line to be thrown in. 26 minutes have gone in this third quarter. Metro 12-13, 85. League Country 7-7, 49.
Right half forward for for Country rather, knocked out there on that occasion by Sheringham, who worked to the front spot. It's deep inside now the Country's attacking area. Paul under pressure, did really well to get a hand pass out there towards Boyd. Boyd worked it over. Now Spiteri puts it in a bit of a bump, then kicked off the ground by Tardif up towards the half back line. Rice is happy to see it over as it was punched away from the clutches of Matt Dennis, and we'll have a boundary throw in. A couple of kicks from home for the Country. 49 playing 85, 36 points the margin. Here goes Symes again to send it inside, but I think he's kicked that wide and out of bounds on the full. So we'll have a free kick in the back pocket to be taken for the Metro by Sam Boyd. As the changes continue to be rung by both coaches, players making their regular rotations. And the Metro have continued their tradition of doing a huddle from a defensive kick in. Rice makes a lead to the pocket, and he honours that lead there, although the kick didn't quite make the distance. He was forced to dive hard, Rice. He did well to sweep a hand pass over the top to Jackson. Jackson's kick is a good one for McCarg, but he's going to be under pressure. Tardif there, good punch there, working in here. A chance now for Hampton if he can get it. Free kick's going to go the way of the Country. And I'm didn't quite catch what that was for, but it's going to Hampton over the shoulder as he tried to win the football. And as the siren sounds for three-quarter time, this is an absolutely pivotal kick to reduce the margin to a gettable 5 goals. At 6 goals, it still feels quite large. Even at 5 goals, it feels large. But having said that, they certainly have the star power and the star quality of the country to haul in a 5-goal margin if Lonnie Hampton can put this through. Kicks from 40 metres. It's a low kick, and he puts it through, and all the country guys get around him right on three-quarter time. Big goal for the country. 8-7-55 they move to. The margin at three-quarter time, as it was at half-time, is 30 points. So, major goal kickers. Let's go through them for the game to date. We'll start off with the Metro, who lead, as I said, by 5 goals. Goal kickers, Kwame McCarg has 3. 2 in the first, 1 in the second. He kicked it behind in that turn. Although he didn't make the distance, sorry. He kicked it behind early. Justin Van Noonen has 2. Jesse Donaldson has 2. And singles to Joel Perry, Rhett Jordan, Ryan Mullett, Rennie Gilchrist, and Fortunato Caruso. Whilst for the country side, the only multiple goal kicker is that man that just kicked the goal then, Lonnie Hampton, who kicked his second. Singles otherwise to Kevin Burke, Jordan Erskine, Brody Philo, Justin Madden, Daniel Willis, and Luke Morgan. It's at three-quarter time here at Avalon Airport Oval. It's the country 8-7-55 leading the Metro. Sorry, the country 8-7-55 trailing the Metro 12-13-85. Wes, can you see the country coming back before we take a quick break?
It's going to be a mighty challenge. There's no question of that. There's certainly some talented players out there, so we'll watch with interest. And we'll be back in just a few minutes' time with the final quarter of action here in what is proving to be a very tough and talented battle between two terrific sides. Metro 12-13-85, Vic Country 8-7-55. To Avalon Airport Oval for the final quarter of the clash between Vic Country and Vic Metro. It's the AFL Victoria Community Cup. I'm Wes Custworth from Win Television News, and Andrew Leonard, the Victorian Amateur Football Association Media Manager, joining me in commentary. And clearly the advantage with Metro, and one would imagine that with a little bit of a sprinkling of rain as this fourth quarter is about to begin, the task is going to be all the more difficult for Vic Country. But there's a broad range of very talented footballers out there, Andrew, and you certainly can't dismiss the possibility of Country coming back hard.
No, you can't. They're a proud group, the Country. They came hard last year. Of course, this side played the VAFA in a match, and the VAFA won by 3 points, having led by about 24 at three-quarter time. Country came back very strongly, so certainly wouldn't discount that at all. Will this be leading the news on Win, if you're reading the news, or where would this feature?
This will feature right across regional Victoria in all 6 markets on Monday.
Very good.
Yes, and if they win it in particular, it'll be right up there in the board.
If they come back from 5 goals down, let's hope they can do it. Here he is, Wes Cuthbert from Win Television on aflvic.com.au.
Well, it's Metro with the first takeaway through the agency of Ryan Jackson. Sends his side forward, heads towards Caruso, but Caruso's got a task on his hand as we see a number of Country players get back to provide some resistance. Eventually it comes to Luke Morgan, the Benalla coach. A couple of possessions for him there as he kicks then towards centre wing. The big fly comes from behind, but Matthew Dennis was the man in front. The mark not paid, called the play on, and eventually it's going to be a free kick going the way of the Metro team in Rhett Jordan. So Jordan now sends his team deep into attack. Barker sits underneath it, used his body well, almost hauled it in. Jenkins runs onto it, gathers possession, weaves his way out of trouble, and then steams back towards the central corridor, looks for McCarg. He gathers possession, offloads by hand, sweeping handball over the top. The opportunity emerges for Barker if he can gather possession. He's fighting hard to do so. The ball comes out to the advantage of Paul. Paul throws it on the right, then a quick kick on goal. Fitzgerald has kicked a goal. And now the Country task is all the more difficult, because the margin is stretched to an even 6 goals. 13-13-91 Vic Metro, leading Vic Country 8-7-55, and that is an ideal beginning for Vic Metro.
It is, and just what the Country didn't want, a goal inside the first minute, just to make their task ever more difficult. 7 goals they're going to need to kick now to win this contest, and we know that they're playing 30-minute quarters, so still plenty of time to go. But, gee, the pressure's on for Country to try and produce something here. Here they go from the middle of the ground. Get the clearing kick up towards half forward. Spiteri has won a free kick here for being held onto by Kevin Burke. So he'll get the free kick. Spiteri at half back. Kicks wide here towards Dennis, who marks on his chest. So Dennis from Bundura, received from Spiteri from Altona. So the Northern and Western leagues combining on that occasion. Dennis is kicked down the line, was up towards Barker, and he got outbodied in the air there by Tom Gillies. And Barker unhappy with that, gave Gillies a shove, but Gillies gave it right back to him as Country come forward again. Good mark though taken by Tennant at half forward. Mopping up is Jordan, goes back to Rice, who goes back to Jordan, who's kicked a couple of goals today. He goes wide across the face of goal to Van Noonan, also a kicker of a couple of goals today. And he sends a ball further afield out towards Donaldson. That's punched away from him on this occasion by Kennedy and slapped over out of bounds on the outer side of the ground here at Avalon Airport Oval. 91 playing 55, 36 points the margin in favour of Metro. 2 minutes gone in the final term.
Van Noonan there with a possession. He's been one of the best of the Metro today, in my opinion. He's been a consistent performer across the three quarters that we've seen so far.
I suppose we'll give some votes at the end of the game, just between you and I, and for those that are interested in listening.
I'm sure there'll be plenty, as we see at ground level. It's Kevin Burke, take away with the Vic Country side. He kicks towards a leading teammate. Awkward bouncing football. Running onto it then is Patrick Flynn of Lower Plenty. And then a free kick's going to go the way of Big Hinkley. No, in fact, it's going to go the way of Metro. And waiting out wide is Caruso. He's got room in which to move. He's got a little worm burner towards the advantage of Barker. Didn't lead up quite hard enough there on that occasion. Here's Luby. The Vic Country captain offloads to Stewart. Uses the corridor dangerously so and finds Cobden star in Paul Hinkley. Hinkley with a little chip kick to the advantage of Joel Mackey. And now the Albury midfielder, Morgan. So sticking around the northeast of Victoria right at the moment. Eventually it spills out to the advantage of Brendan Hollow. He found a teammate and then kicked towards centre wing, and it's turned over, and the mark's taken by Van Noonan, who, well, I tell you what, if he gets us too many possessions in this fourth term, he might be our best on.
He's shaping that way. Hand pass sweeps inboard for the Country. So they send up towards the Symes direction. Can't quite trap it, tries to slap it to advantage. Here he is again, Van Noonan. Hand pass wide out there towards Campisano. And his kick for Dennis, I think, just went out of bounds and off hands and rushed over. So we'll have a boundary throw. And true centre wing outer side of the ground. 36 points to the margin, 4 minutes into the final term. Dennis, who's done most of the ruck work all day, coming away with it. Mackey, though, for the Country. Kicks it up towards the Symes direction. Had a couple to beat at the fall of the ball, though. Chance falls for Willis. He got it around, hand pass over the top there for Wallace, I think it was. Couldn't do it. Rice fed a hand pass out. Might have coughed it up to Geary. Ends up with Willis. Willis should stroll in and kick a goal, and he does. So there's one. One of the 6 they need to bring it back to even. 9-7-67 the Country. Margin reduced to 30 points. The Metro 13-13-91. It's a 30-point lead in favour of the Metro with 5 minutes played in this final quarter. A goal there to Willis, and the Country every opportunity still.
His second, Andrew, just the second multiple goal kicker for the Vic Country lineup, joins Lonnie Hampton in that category, and as a consequence pulls the margin back to 5 straight kicks. What can the Country conjure up? Big fly on that occasion comes from the Gisborne big fella in Tom Waters, but it's taken away by Jesse Donaldson. Worm burning kick, Barker, good mark, leading hard on that occasion. And getting in front of his rival there in Tom Gillies, former AFL player with both Melbourne and Geelong. And now Barker, with a fair bit of intent, goes back. He's going to be kicking from a reasonable distance, but a lot of these boys certainly like their chances over range.
They've all got great kicks, don't they? I'm not surprised so much. It's just it's fantastic to see that these guys are just comfortably sit back and kick from 50.
And he comes in now. Steps towards the arc, that is slewing off the side of the boot. That's an absolute dead set shocker, and there's the commentator's guarantee. Once you give a bloke a big rap, and they let you down in that regard. So poor kick on that occasion from Barker. It's bounced just inside the line, and as a consequence, the boundary umpire comes into play. 13-13-91 plays 9-7-61. 6 minutes gone.
Thrown in. Fitzgerald gets front spot, knocks it down towards Paul, bounces off one tackle, bounces off a second. Then gets boot to ball, kicks it to the top of the goal square, working under it Perry, hand passes to Mullet. Mullet's forced to double backwards, sends the ball up towards McCargan. He marks it comfortably in front, 40 metres out on a slightly, probably about a 60-degree angle. If you're good at your geometry, that's the one. Get your set squares out. And McCarg will have to kick from about 45 metres. He has 3 goals today. Has had a shot at goal in the third, and he goes short to the pocket. Interesting kick, and it's marked by Caruso in the pocket. And he can now have a shot, and this is Fortunato Caruso. Runs around on the right boot and snaps a goal. Well, it was only interesting in the fact that it made the goal a bit more interesting, because Fortunato Caruso had no trouble running around and snapping the goal from the pocket. And the Metro get their 14th, 14-13, 97. Margin back out to 36 points. Country 9-7-61. Going to be really hard from here, Wes.
Well, I've never seen the young fella play before, Fortunato Caruso, but I reckon the way he went about that, he's done that before. The boy from Northern Saints.
Air of familiarity about his approach, and even just requesting the ball be passed to him in the pocket.
Seemed like an unusual choice, and perhaps that was where they exploited the Vic Country, because Vic Country wouldn't have detected that was even on. As we're back in the middle of Chirnside Park now, as the ball is thrown aloft, and now Vic Country go forward. Can they pull one back? They trail by 6 straight kicks. The sky-high kick from Metro falls only so far as Kennedy. He works it out wide by way of hand, and now they're away. An opportunity emerges through Brody Philo. The kick towards half forward, and the mark is taken by Vic Country going into attack. Offload by hand. Here's Lonnie Hampton. Worm-burning kick forward. Nice mark taken by Christian Polo from the Redan Footy Club, representing the Ballarat Football League. Just 2 players from that league in this particular game. He, along with Darley's Kennedy. And now with a pretty tight angle.
For those Metro people, Ballarat's ranked whereabouts, the Ballarat Football League?
They are now ranked 5, as the shot on goal comes from the boot of Christian Polo, and that is a beautiful kick on goal to the southern end. And the margin back to 30 points once again. Vic Country 10-7-67, leading Metro 14-13, 97. And they're quite accustomed to playing in greasy, wintry conditions, the Ballarat boys, so no surprise that Christian Polo kicked that goal with such composure.
No, he's had a couple of chances today. He's kicked 1 goal, 2 for the afternoon. Had an easy chance in the third when they were making a bit of a run of it, the Country, but gets the goal there. So margin back to 30 as Paul gets the clearance again for the Metro up towards half forward, gathering at Morgan at half back. Hand pass was okay to Luby. Luby's kick out wide is a good one and finds Philo, who runs on and sends a lovely pass up to Waters, who takes the mark on his chest. Immediately plays on, wheels around and kicks to the middle of the ground up towards Geary. Morgan took the mark, chopped off and played on, got away from Mullet and sent the ball up towards half forward, towards the forward line. Erskine just bounced in front of him. Poor kick in the end. And Metro are able to clear, this time through the aid of Boyd. And Boyd's kick around the corner was a good one for Caruso, who just almost hauled it in. Couldn't quite do so. Under pressure, though. Geary is second there to help out his teammate. Comes out sideways to Sheringham. And Sheringham sends to the pocket over the top of Erskine's head. Falls to the hands of Madden. Madden snaps at goal. And is just offline for a minor score. So the Country 10-8-68, Metro 14-13-97, margin 35 points. He had 10 minutes gone in the final term.
So plenty of time if the Country is good enough, but there's a mighty task ahead. They need 5 straight kicks without being scored against, as we see Camposano works the ball forward and the mark's taken at right half back by the Metro combination. Coming back inboard now, and the mark's taken by Rhett Jordan from the Norwood Footy Club. Moves it on by foot, puts it into the path of his teammate. The mark's taken there by Ryan Jackson. That was a good mark. Looping handball over the top. Now an opportunity emerges that they go inside 50, although that kick was a little directed and a bit wide. And as a consequence, it's going to be Vic Country at left half back. 14-13-97, Metro leading Country 10-8-68. Short option is on, and finding Tim Sheringham, the vice-captain of the Vic Country combination. He surveys the landscape both sideways and up the line and chooses to go the latter. Sky-high kick, Waters in prime position, although a teammate takes it, and it's Jordan Erskine hurriedly kicking the ball forward. Nice gather by Tardif. Steams forward and then kicks to a man drifting back with the flight of the football, and the mark's taken by Jack Bull. Bull moves it off by hand very quickly. Little kick, smothered there by Tom Stewart. Well done by the South Barwon defender. The ball over the line to be thrown in. Right half forward flank. Metro in attack, leading 14-13-97 to Country 10-8-68. 11, almost 12 minutes have elapsed in this fourth and final quarter.
Cardiff and Bull, of course, premiership teammates at Collegians before Bull moved in the summer to Old Scotch, back to his old home club. Here come the Country through the middle of the ground. Series of hand passes. Wallace just got it out to Mackie, and Mackie missed it, so Wallace went back and got it. He's might get a free kick for too high here, Wallace. He will, in fact, just as the Metro were about to break away. So Lockie Wallace will take the free kick in the middle of the ground.
He's on Collingwood's VFL list.
Playing at Peninsula. He kicks long towards centre half forward. Big punch from Metro. Comes to Bull. He got it to Mullet by hand, who went out wide to Jackson on the outer side of the wing. Hand pass over the top to Fitzgerald. Hand pass back to Jackson. Back to Jordan by hand. Comes inboard to Mullet by hand. This is beautiful play by the Metro. Mullet runs to 48 metres and kicks a behind. Big build-up. Bit of a letdown in the end. 14-14-98. The Metro move to. They lead the Country 10-8-68. Margin back to 30 points.
Slipping away from the Country now as we're running low on time. Sheldon with the kicking responsibilities on this occasion. He's normally a beautiful deliverer of the football. The kick towards midfield. The intended target there was Joel Mackie. The ball to ground, hotly contested football, spills out to the advantage of Kevin Burke. He's away, escapes the clutches of a would-be tackler, takes a bounce and then kicks inside 50 now. He's got Lonnie Hampton, who uses his body well. Rival goes to ground. Hampton, 25 and closing. Kick on goal and he misses to the left. He's an excitement machine, the boy from the border, but not on this occasion. And as a consequence, the Albury Tiger kicks it behind. 10-9-69 Vic Country, trailing Metro, 14-14-98.
Kicks worked up towards just behind centre. Paul got it to Donaldson from the kick out. Donaldson has the ball for Metro. He's forced to kick down the line, and Dennis gets to the front spot and takes a mark in front of Mackie. So, Matt Dennis sends the ball. Dangerous kick, but it's okay. It worked out well there for Donaldson, who kept going forward. He had Jackson on, but he slipped at the moment, and Donaldson good enough to hold up his kick. Goes up towards Fitzgerald. Had his jumper slightly tugged, but no free kick. Rice is going to get there first for the Metro. Nice pick up, and then delivers a little ball over the top there towards Jordan. Jordan couldn't quite haul it in. Might have been Flynn, in fact. And that's Jordan who steps around one and gets it back there towards Flynn, who kicked it up towards the hot spot. Fitzgerald takes the mark, runs into the open goal, and Metro get there 15-14, 104. Big play from Fitzgerald, who ran on and kicked the goal. Country 10-9-69, and it is certainly game over now. 14 minutes gone in the final quarter. This margin goes out to 35 points. It's a bit beyond the Country at this stage.
Well, 2 fourth quarter goals coming from the boot of Fitzgerald. And the big fella moves pretty freely, doesn't he?
He did, just didn't break stride then, took the mark and saw that there was no one in front of him, run into the open goal.
So 104 plays 69. Coaches continue to ring the changes. All the players getting a decent old run today, apart from the fellow that we lost earlier, as we see an opportunity for Jenkins, sends his side forward. Fall of the ball will favour Metro, as running on with an opportunity is Van Oonen, I suspect it was, and he offloads to McHarg, and now Metro corralled, and eventually the ball spills out to the advantage of Tom Paul. He's wrapped up, although he does escape the clutches of his Country rivals, kicks inside. Fitzgerald the target, the ball over the top, but he gathers possession, has another shot on goal, and he's kicked his third fourth quarter major. The big fella up forward for Metro, and the margin is out to a game high 41 points here at Churnside Park in Werribee. Metro 16-14, 110, leading Vic Country 10-9-69. Fitzgerald with 3.
Well, it's amazing how, and we thought this would happen just because of the nature of these two sides, just stacked with talent, that you see someone that hasn't had a lot of it early just bobbing up and kicking goals at will, seemingly, in the final quarter. Pat Fitzgerald has not had a bad day by any stretch of the imagination, but hasn't been nearly much as cited as he has in this last quarter. Comes up with 3 goals. Here go the Country from the middle of the ground through Geary. Beautiful kick up towards Madden, who takes the mark in his hands. Still 55 metres from home. He wants to play on and does so and sends the ball to the pocket, but the kick was a poor one, and Rice drops in the hole and takes the mark for the Metro. Got a short option on and uses Jordan. Red Jordan takes the mark. He's kicked to goal today. He comes across the face of goal. McHarg's a long way from the forward line. He's going to have a couple to beat. Goes one way, tries to lose Wallace, who's in his shadow. Spears the ball around the corner, and that was just good play. And I reckon You can certainly see that the stop's being pulled up there by the defender as he just let a mark be taken by Jenkins. Got it to Paul, who kicked up towards half forward, and Country work it out with numbers, and Taylor got it away to Luby, and they're away.
Luby kicks towards half forward, Hampton the intended target, but it's going to be Metro once again repelling. Sweeping handball out wide, now an opportunity for Mullet. Mullet has his kick smothered, gathered by Carter. Now Morgan it is for Country. Offloads to Wallace. Little kick, doesn't travel the necessary distance. Puts the teammate in Brandon Symes under a fair bit of pressure. He's wrapped up in the tackle, and Steam did he get disposed. That's a tough one.
It was Fendoff.
Oh, Fendoff, was it? There you go. There's a long kick inside 50. Taken on this occasion by Dennis. Dennis's kick forward is awkwardly bouncing towards the left of the goal-scoring zone and through for a minor score. 42 points separate the two sides. 16-15 plays 10-9 here at Chirnside Park. 18 minutes have elapsed in this fourth and final quarter.
So Morgan has it on the outer side of the ground as Sunshine starts to descend on Avalon Airport Oval here in Werribee. Kick comes back to Morgan. Late in the afternoon on Saturday in July as Geary takes the mark from Morgan. His kick goes into the middle of the ground and finds Gianpaolo. Hand pass over the top there to the running player who sends it up towards the Symes direction, but coming in front there and taking a good mark I think is Sheringham. Kick came in from Daniel Nichols. Just waiting for him to give us an indication of who it might be, unless you've got him. No, it's not Sheringham, it's actually Daniel Willis, who came out and took a strong mark in his hands, and he's got a couple of goals today, can line up for his third. Willis started the day in long sleeves, finishing in the short sleeves, will kick from 35 metres and pops it through, makes no mistake on that occasion, gets his third of the day. He's kicked 2 goals this term as well as Daniel Willis, and the Country move their score along 11-9-75 to the Metro 16-15-111. 19 minutes gone in the final term.
Well, as I've been saying all day, Daniel Willis is a proven goal-kicking forward. There's no question he is very effective in front of goal. Having said that, at different times today, Vic Country's probably been a little bit wasteful with a couple of its set shots, and as a consequence, they've slipped 6 straight goals behind. Here we go once again. Big leap. Good to see Gisborne's Tom Waters continuing to leap right through to the finish of this contest, and the umpire calls for a secondary ball up. 111 plays 75, approaching the 20-minute mark of our fourth and final quarter. As the quick takeaways with Daniel Nichols from the St Albans Footy Club in the Geelong Football League, but it's cut off at half-back by Campusano. Campusano sends it out wide. He's got a man in plenty of space, and the player in question is Mullet. Mullet uses the outer wing. His intended target was Jesse Donaldson, but the Montmorency midfielder has the ball fisted away by Kennedy, and the ball over the boundary line. Right in front of that scoreboard that says there's 36 points separating the two sides.
Throw in. Good knockdown on that occasion by Flint. Comes out the back here for Mullet, who kicks up towards half forward. Punched away from Dennis, who's leading out from centre half forward. Rice gets there first for Metro. Goes on the left. Lovely long kick into the space for Barker to run onto, but equal to the task, and very good defensive punch from Jonathan Coe. Gets it away from Barker, and we'll have a throw in left half forward for Metro. Margin 36 points in their favour at this stage of proceedings. They've been pretty good since it was pretty close early in the contest. As here come the Country through Gillies on hands and knees. Burrows a hand pass out to Kennedy. Works it back to Nichols, who kicks off a step up towards half forward. Working under the ball there was Willis, and we'll have another boundary throw in. As I was saying, at quarter time there was a point the difference, 4-4-28 to 4-3-27. But since then, the Metro stepped on it, and it was that second quarter dominance where they kicked 5 goals, 5. From the throw-in, just to the 1 goal. Here comes the Country through Wallace, picks it up, runs to 50, kicks to the top of the goal square, just goes over the hands at the back here. Chance now for Madden as he wheels around on the right, snaps at goal and kicks a good goal. Really good goal from Justin Madden. And he gets his second of the day. The Country 12-9-81. Margin back to 30 points. Metro 16-15-111.
Well, there was a couple of parts of that particular goal that really set themselves apart, and I suppose that was that Lockie Wallace pick up and gather and then kick towards the goal square, and then that wonderful snap by Madden that really stand out as a couple of highlights there in the dying stages of this game for Vic Country. So, something to enjoy for the Vic Country fans. And they'll get the chance to have a look at a goal like that on Win News right across regional Victoria on Monday night.
They absolutely will.
Here's the opportunity for Metro to pull one straight back, though. Succession of handballs, and it comes out to the advantage of Ryan Mullet. Sends his side forward, and the mark's taken. Quick offload. Mullet, once again, forced to swing around onto his left boot. He's pretty comfortable in doing so. He's kicked towards the corridor, though. Falls just short of the intended target. Taken on this occasion by Tom Gillies. Gillies finds his feet and then has a man out wide and kicks towards the advantage of young Lockie Wallace. So the boy from Frankston moves it on very quickly by foot and now steaming forward. Here go Vic Country again. The goal square scenario sits and a good mark taken in defence by Vic Metro. Repelling on that occasion, the margin remains at 30 points. Good work there by Shane Tennant.
Gets it out to Spiteri, whose kick goes down the line up towards Jackson, who marks. He's been pretty good today, Jackson, as well. Kick finds Caruso. This is Nat Caruso. Kick over the top to Barker, who finally finds some space. He's been well held since that second quarter, where he started to light it up. Constantly had a defender right on his hammer every time he's gone for a contest. Kick goes up towards the Fitzgerald direction, who's kicked 3 this term. He couldn't quite haul it in on this occasion, and we'll have a boundary throw. Just 15 metres round from the Metro goals. They lead by 30 points, so that margin that they established in the second quarter has been the same. So it's been pretty evenly matched since then, actually, Wes. Country could be pretty happy, just disappointed with that second quarter, where they let the game get away from them.
Proved very costly, didn't it? Here's Metro once again. Jenkins bursting through the pack. Off-hand to Patrick Flynn. Flynn's kick towards goal is right across the face. Fitzgerald set himself and almost hauled it in, but not successful on this occasion. He has kicked 3 fourth-quarter goals, Fitzgerald, and posed real problems for the Vic Country defence in this fourth and final quarter. Ball thrown in. There he is again. Does the ruck work uncontested on that occasion. Sheldon swung around, and he is pinged for having not disposed appropriately there. He had one arm held, and he was trying to get a handball away. He's been knocked off. Free kick's gone the way of the skipper of Vic Metro in Nat Caruso, who would love to join the goal kickers list and has every opportunity now as he has a shot on goal from directly in front and about 25 metres out. So, Caruso from the Northern Saints, kicking to the northern end here at Chirnside Park. He comes in. This is real bread and butter stuff for a player of his calibre. He makes no mistake to the Melbourne City end, and the margin once again out to 6 straight kicks. 17-14, 116 Metro, leading Vic Country 12-9, 81.
Well, they continue. They haven't let up all afternoon, have they, the Metro, and continue to put the pressure on when they can. And it was their tackling, I reckon, that kept them in the contest early in that first quarter when it looked like Country were on top. The Metro's tackling was right up there, and it's continued right to the end of the game as Nat Caruso lays a tackle and gets reward with a goal. Knocked out in the middle. Here goes Jordan trying to go through, and I think that's the final siren, is it? No?
Would have been a passing train here at Chirnside Park.
I thought it was the siren. No, it was just a train. Knocked out. Here goes Jenkins. Throws it on the boot. Left foot kick up towards half forward. McCarr gathers beautifully on the bounce. Goes one way then the other, then hand passes around the corner to Dennis. Dennis comes back inboard. Great skills for a big man. Kicks across towards centre half forward in the Caruso direction. Chopped off by Symes, who takes the mark for the Country. Working forward is Wallace. Almost a courageous mark going back with the flight. Carter couldn't quite haul it in. Wallace comes away with a good chase and tackle from Spiteri. And a strong mark paid out in front there by Campisano, who takes the mark for Metro in the last line of defence.
So 36 points separate the two sides. 117 plays 81. The kick is ill-directed, goes only so far. There's Daniel Willis, who's kicked 3 goals, 2 in this fourth quarter. He goes inboard and finds a teammate inside 50. And the mark has been taken by Brody Philo, who plays on, moves it on quickly to his teammate in Giampolo. Giampolo with a quick shot on goal to the southern end. And he has kicked a goal, his second of the fourth quarter. And the margin back to 30 points. 13-9, 87, Vic Country, trailing Metro 17-15, 117. As Giampolo, the boy from Redan, boots the second goal.
Yep, he's been pretty good today. He's been one of the country's better players. Had a fair bit of football early as well. And he's got a couple of goals to his name. 2 goals for the afternoon for Giampolo. Margin back to 30 points. As we said, just they haven't been able to get it under that 5-goal margin in the country, and every time they look like pressing, the Metro go forward and kick a goal themselves. Throw up in the middle of the ground goes nowhere. We'll have a secondary bounce. 27 minutes ticks over here in the final quarter. Only a couple of minutes left, if that, as we come through. Symes almost just hands it to Geary, who sends the ball forward, but it's a good mark taken there by Shane Tennant. Plays on and kicks it wide to the outer side of the ground, and Jackson, he's got Dennis on if he wants him, goes with a little screw kick around the corner to him. Big man runs on, and it's a low grass cutting ball up towards half forward and towards Caruso. Symes did well to go back, get it to Luby, chopped off on that occasion by Donaldson. Donaldson wheels around and kicks to the pocket. Lovely pass to Van Unen, and Van Unen marks 30 metres out on a pretty tough angle in that right forward pocket. Wedged up against the boundary line. He's got a couple of goals today, Van Unen, and he'd like his chances. Goes with the check side kick, and he got too much of it and snuck it in for a minor score. So Metro go on 17-16, 118, margin 31 points, over the country, 13-9-87.
Tommy Sheldon kicks to his own advantage, plays on and then kicks very long towards left half back, but Metro have the numbers once again. A little worm-burning kick comes in and the mark's taken, and McHarg has it. Well, he started the game in a blaze of glory, a couple of first quarter majors, kicked the third one in the second quarter, and now he has a shot, a 45-degree angle, and will kick pretty much from the arc. 28.5 minutes have elapsed. He's been a terrific contributor today in Metro's win, as he steps up now. Goes with the drop punt, long towards the square. Doesn't go the journey. It's touched right on the line by the Metro, in fact by the country defenders. And the margin 32 points. 17-17, 119 plays 13-9-87.
Kick out. They put themselves under immediate pressure here. This is Philo working hard in the back pocket. His kick's going to be chopped off by McHarg though, and McHarg can go back directly in front, has heaps of options on. They're all pleading with him to turn around, but I think he had one mind only, and that was to kick a goal, and he'll have to do that after the siren, as the siren has sounded here to end the match. We won't get a final score just yet. The country will be locked on 13-9-87 with McHarg's kick to come. It'll either be a 33, a 38, or a 32-point win. Let's have a look. As he kicks a goal, it's going to be a 38-point win to the Metro. McHarg gets the goal, and that's his 4th of the day. He's kicked 4 goals today. As here at Avalon Airport Oval in the clash between AFL Victoria Country and AFL Victoria Metro, it is the Metro that have won. 18-17, 125 to the Country, 13-9-87. Major goal kickers, we'll go through them now. Kwame McHarg with 4. 2 to Jesse Donaldson and Fortunato Caruso, whilst singles for Nat Caruso, Rennie Gilchrist, also 2 to Justin Van Unen, I forgot him, Ryan Mullett, Rhett Jordan, Joel Perry, whilst for the country, the multiple goal kickers, the leading goal kicker was Daniel Willis with 3, who kicked 2 of those in the last quarter, 2 to Chris Giampolo, and 2 to Lonnie Hanton, whilst there were singles to Kevin Burke, Jordan Erskine, Brody Philo, and Luke Morgan. The clash was fantastic. It was hot early, but that second quarter, which we mentioned in the call there, was the key quarter for the Metro, where they piled on the goals to get them over the line.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Obviously, it was a very even first term, just 1 point separating the sides at that quarter-time break. It was out to 30 points by the main break, and then again 30 points at three-quarter time, and even with that 8-point advantage across the course of the 4th quarter by Metro, as you say, it was that second quarter that really did set the two sides apart. The sides, shaking hands now, and we can see that there's a good feeling amongst both sides, respectively. But the game was played in terrific spirits today, and that's testimony, I suppose, to the fact that we've got high-caliber players, terrific sportsmen out there giving their all and flying the flag not only for their respective leagues, but for their clubs and just for themselves. Showcasing their skills on a stage of this calibre is something that's really, really special, I'm sure.
Oh, no doubt. And I think the guys that put their hands up to play in these games, they do so for a reason, because they want to win these games. They want to be part of playing with the best players that they possibly can.
We'll stick with the presentations at the moment.
Presentations.
Yep, because we've got Stephen Reaper with the trophy at the moment. He's preparing to hand that over. And we'll stay with the presentations and hope to pick up the audio. And then we might look at a few of our own better players before we actually wrap up the coverage here. If you've just missed the score, 18-17 to 13-9, let's listen to the presentations as they occur right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think everyone would attest that we've seen a really good game of football today for the return of the AFL Community Cup, or the first occurrence of that since 1986. And I think on behalf of everyone, we should just thank all players and umpires for a tremendous effort. Well done. I'd like to call on the coach of AFL Big Country, Peter Knights, to say a few words on behalf of his team, announce their best player and also the AFL Big Metro player that their coaching panel has selected as their best.
Thanks, Jerry. Thank you everyone for turning out and supporting the boys in typical Melbourne winter day. So thanks very much. We all appreciate that support. Congratulations to the Metro boys. Just a little bit too clean, too slick today. Well done, well coached, all the coaches. Tocco, Westy and co, congratulations. Thanks very much to the umpires for putting on the show today. To our boys, well done. I mean, the commitment that you guys have made over the last 6 weeks is remarkable. I thank you very much on behalf of all the coaches for your support. Unbelievable commitment, passion for Big Country footy, and we wish you all the best for the remainder of your season. Thanks very much to our loyal support staff, coaches, doctors, physios, trainers, who also make the same commitment coming from all points of the compass around Big Country. Thanks very much. Big Country's best player in our eyes was Tommy Stewart. Well played, Tommy. A little more difficult to pick the oppo, but we had to make a decision on number 4, Ryan Jackson.
So what we'll do is make presentations to Ryan and whoever wins the country as selected by the Vic Metro coaches a little bit later. Those medals haven't actually came through. So before we move on, we'd like to thank the umpires and congratulate them on their appointments. As we mentioned earlier, selected from the interleague competitions earlier in the season, and all of them have achieved a very high standard. So well done and congratulations all of you. Now invite the coach of AFL Victoria Metro, Brian Royal.
Thanks for that, Jared. Firstly, to Knightsy and the Big Country boys, thank you very much. I know it's tough for you guys to come together from all over the country. A really fantastic effort. I've got a lot of time for Big Country. I've played for you guys a long, long time ago. So well done, and I really appreciate the effort that you put in today against our guys. To AFL Vic, once again, thank you very much for, I guess, giving the opportunity for these guys in both teams to play for the Big V. It's outstanding, and I hope it continues. To the Metro boys, really thank you. We appreciate the efforts that you guys have put in over the last month, particularly at this time of the year. As we know, it's a tough time of the year, and to come and play a game where you could have had a rest, I really appreciate it, and it's an outstanding effort. And for you guys to come together the way you did and play in a style and a manner that we've trained over the last month was outstanding. To our staff, firstly the assistant coaches, thank you again. You guys were fantastic support to me. To our support staff, really good. You know, again, coming out on those cold nights on the 2 Wednesdays and then last week was an outstanding effort. For the best player for the Vic Metro, Thomas Paul. And our selectors got together, and the best place for the Vic country was Jackson Geary. Thanks, Brian. I'd like Brian just to stay here now and invite Captain of AFL Vic Metro, Nat Caruso, to also come forward and to receive the AFL Victoria Community Cup from Deputy General Manager of AFL Victoria, Stephen Reaper. Okay, thanks everyone. We'll have a chance for photos with the team. Just before we move off, again a very big thank you to the Werribee Football Club, Mark Penaluna and his whole team, and also the Wyndham City Council for the support they gave to enable us to play here today. Have a safe trip home wherever you're heading all across the state, and we look forward to the next time the AFL Victoria Community Cup is held.
Jesse Donaldson got more and more of the ball as the game progressed. I certainly had Ryan Jackson right up there, and I know he was awarded the best on ground from the country to the Metro. I liked the work of Justin Van Unen, which I think you appreciated as well. Whereas Kwame McCarg was outstanding and just a live wire up forward always. Ryan Mullett through the middle of the ground was great. Luke Barker did some nice things early and then sort of was well held later on as the game progressed. Brett Jordan got plenty of football. Lise Materi did really well across half back. Tom Paul I thought was outstanding. And Joel Rice also got plenty of the ball across half back. Pat Fitzgerald, of course, with 3 goals in the last quarter was very good as well. I've done some votes based off all of that. Now what I did is, because I didn't want to seem biased, I left Tom Paul out of my votes, who won the medal there. So I've gone down the line of 1 vote to Ryan Jackson from Montmorency from the Metro team. I've gone 2 votes to Kwame McCarg, who was the man who was, I guess, the danger and the worrisome player for the country defenders from Deer Park. And I've given the 3 votes to Justin Van Unen from Vermont in the Eastern Fleet League from the Metro. So all 3 from the Metro team. Very good.
I've gone with McCarg for 3, Van Unen for 2, and Jackson Geary with 1. So that pretty much wraps it up here from Chirnside Park or Avalon Airport Oval. Thank you so much, Andrew, for joining me in commentary. I really appreciate your efforts.
No, I love doing it with you, Wes, and look forward to seeing how you cover this on the news on Win TV throughout the week.
Yes, certainly our regional Victorian viewers can look forward to that on Win Television News on Monday night. So Vic Country go down by that 38-point margin. Vic Metro led by a point at quarter time, 30 points at half time. It was 30 points once again at 3/4 time and 38 points in the wash-up. Vic Metro 18-17, 125 to Vic Country 13-9, 87. On behalf of the team, I'm Wes Custworth from Win Television News saying farewell, and thanks again to Andrew Leonard from the Victorian Amateur Football Association and also the team from Red Onion Creative. We hope you've enjoyed the live stream coverage on aflvic.com.au, and we hope that we can bring you future games in years to come. Bye for now.